Great series for you. We've got Oklahoma University or University of Oklahoma versus UW River Falls for you tonight. We're remote casting today, given the wonderful weather of the Midwest. So we hope you'll bear with us if we encounter any technical issues. I'm doing my best, but we'll see.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. I am your first caster, James, also known as Happy. I am accompanied by my wonderful caster, Gavin, also known as the incredible G Spree, probably one of the most famous League of Legends YouTubers. I'm honestly surprised if you haven't heard of him. And like he said earlier, we are going through a torrential downpour of biblical proportions. So we will be casting remote today, but we are more than happy to do so regardless. I am super excited, Gavin. I love the neat layout of your room, might I add. It definitely is much better than the trailer park hurricane that is my background that I tried to quickly clean before coming live. So welcome. Let's get right into draft. What are the first champions that we want to touch on right here? Because there is a lot we can go through right now.
There definitely is. So River Falls is going to be on red side, it looks like, early. Looks like we're going to opt for Ravenhood on the Malphite, so nothing unusual here, nothing to see here. We got a Mumu in jungle for Fridgley, and then we've got Mbessa mid from Arrow Hunter, which is going to be a good pick that we're excited to see versus Atalia. So this is a new matchup. I don't think we've seen us play against Atalia, and especially a melee fighter like Mbessa, going to be a little bit more mobile to get around those rocks and kind of position herself to be in a spot to really challenge this Talia.
Yeah, absolutely. So Talia, in case you didn't know, she has an ability that lets out this big rock field, and it's kind of like a pseudo cripple in the instance where you don't want to use a dash while on those rocks, as it will stun you. Now, if you don't know anything about Mbessa, Arrow Hunter is very, very comfortable in this champion, especially in the mid lane. We've seen him dominate, in fact, carry games. His back must be hurting after, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, where he basically put the team on his back with 2 Mbessa games in a row. It was absolutely incredible. But Mbessa is all about dashes. Similar to how Callista works, every time you use an ability instead of an auto attack, you will be able to use a dash. That is what her mana bar is used for, that's her dash meter. I don't exactly know what it's called in game. But that is going to be a big issue for Arrow Hunter going into this matchup. Talia is going to be able to alleviate a lot of the pressure into that lane. Arrow Hunter is known as hitting fast, hitting hard, so I think this will just slow down his reign of terror in this game going forward. One of the tidbits that I really wanted to touch on right here, Gavin, is that we understand that Enchanting is a hyper carry. Enchanting is one of the best players that we have seen right now under the cast. This is why that she gets a lot of the carry champions that are in the game. This is why it's drafted around them and the bot lane. And yet we see them on Syndra. So she's on Syndra, which it can be a carry champion. It's more AP than anything. But the Jinx was picked away. Now, if we remember, Jinx is one of Enchanting's best carries in the game. So I'm very interested to see how Enchanting uses this previous knowledge of dominating as Jinx into a Jinx-ridden lane, where in reality, Melio and Jinx should win the early game.
Yeah, for sure, and I'm interested to see how this goes, because not only is Enchanting playing a mage, so it's AP against Jinx being an AD, but a lot of what Oklahoma University has here is lower health, but bruiser fighters, so a lot of these fights I think are going to happen pretty quickly. Apart from Ravenhood and Fridgley building tank towards the late game, and then kind of Poppy, I think we're going to have some really quick fights, and I think these skirmishes are going to happen really, really close together, and not far between at all. So I think we're going to be skirmishing most of the game here.
Absolutely, and that makes for really good League of Legends and really good entertainment on our part. Speaking of huddling and staying close together, it looks like the entirety of Oklahoma University is holding hands in the shower as they pop in some wards on the bottom side river in the enemy jungle. They did not stick around to look for any kills. It was just warding, getting some vision. Now Xin Zhao is going to pop it back. It seems like River Falls knows what's going on. They counter-warded onto the blue buff, so they will know if Xin Zhao goes for that counterplay, or rather a buff raid right after he gets his red. So we'll see how River Falls has to counteract. I don't believe Amumu is going to be able to do much, especially Fridgley on this. I think he just kind of wants to farm the top lane, maybe go for a mid gank and then recall.
Definitely. I think an Amumu gank on mid is going to be a really good play here, because Talia's got that range. and they can keep poking down Arrow Hunter as he's trying to just farm minions and do his thing. It looks like Arrow Hunter's going to be pretty aggressive and kind of show what he's here for, which is nothing unlike we've seen in the past here. So I'm excited to see where Fridgley likes to go and likes to prioritize, and I think most lanes here are going to be pretty good.
Yeah, they're going to be very exciting nonetheless. And like we were talking about with Arrow Hunter, we got to prevent that Talia from hitting level 3, as that's usually when they max their W, which I believe is the rock floor. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't played Talia in a hot minute. But Arrow Hunter should be theoretically stronger, and we can see that in his gameplay. He's really trying to push this Mbessa down mid lane on level 1 as fast as he can, as he knows that he wins that matchup. Now, something about the runes that we're noticing here, we often see Arrow Hunter run the Electrocute on Mbessa. Correct me if I'm wrong. But now we're seeing a Conqueror. Why do you think this is? Oh, and there's the stun that I was just talking about.
That's really interesting. So the Talia, before we get to that Conqueror, the Talia rock field, when those rocks get traversed by an opponent, and it looks like it's via dash as well as in the air. Typically, it's in the air because Talia's E is that rock that flips them up towards them. Typically, you throw out the rock field and then throw out the E launcher and spring trap and springs them into the rock field, and then hits them extra damage with those rocks. But it looks like that Mbessa dash triggers those rocks as well, that's going to be a little bit harder to traverse for Arrow Hunter.
Yep, and that's exactly what I was
talking there
about.
It goes.
He's going to hit a stun every single time he wants to use those dashes after an ability, similar to how Talia is very utilized against Kalista games, when Kalista is worried. When the enemy team is worrying that the Kalista is going to be a hyper carry, they usually bring in that Talia to alleviate that mobility. And it looks like we're seeing the exact same thought process here on Mbessa, so it's very curious. We've seen Arrow Hunter overcome max odds before, so it's going to be very, very unique seeing him counteract this kind of matchup that we haven't seen yet. So far doing very well, only half hit, but CSing quite well, only down 4 for a melee range. And as we see, Arrow Hunter is already pre-prepping for this matchup. He knew this was coming with not only the rune change, but bringing around that Doran's shield this time around.
Yeah, and I'm not, maybe you could fill me in on some Conquerors. I don't admittedly play Bruisers on a lane that's not support, so I guess I'm not too sure what Conqueror can bring to the field.
So Conqueror is more for sustain. It's definitely more of a sustain rune. I believe it's auto attacks or just general damage, but after you hit about 12 stacks, you do get a burst of movement speed and healing. Again, this isn't if they changed it. Maybe they did change it for all I know, but that is what Conqueror does. It's more of a sustain rune rather than a damage rune, as we're used to seeing him run Electrocute. Ravenhood might be in trouble here, and the first blood goes to the Poppy as I'm talking over it. I did not expect that to kill, but Poppy with the Doran's Blade and a sword. Jeez, that's doing a lot more damage than we expected.
That 2 starter items for Poppy and a lot of CC from Poppy too. That is pushing him up against that rock, and it's just he's a rock stuck onto a rock, and there wasn't anywhere for him to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like the Mbessa of Arrow Hunter is going to be pushed out of the mid lane as well. An unfortunate loss in both the top and mid lane tempos, but Fridgley doing his best to try and make it work for his team, hovering in for a mid. Perhaps a little bit of a mid-gig. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Eerie taking an interesting trade against UR done on the Melio. And this is honestly the biggest silver lining for River Falls, and this is what we were highlighting earlier with the Jinx talk, is that River Falls wants to play around their bottom lane anyway, because those two are usually the carries. Eerie is usually very, very mechanically gifted at knowing when to go in, what walls to go over, who to shield in what team fight. And Enchanting is, we all know what Enchanting is good for. She is super, super, super good at prioritizing the correct targets, knowing which fights to take as a carry, and knowing when to pull back when the front line is not going to be enough. So it's very exciting to see her now on the Syndra and Eerie on his very famous Karma. Not as good as his Janna. Or rather, I'm saying not as exciting as his Janna, but I'm very excited to see him on this champion regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I love Karma. I used to play a ton of Karma back in the day, but I'm seeing how aggressive Eerie is allowed to play while Enchanting is pushing up lane, and these big AoE wave damaging moves that Enchanting can pull off on Syndra here just allows Eerie to shield himself, walk in, maybe stun somebody, just do a little extra AoE. There's just a lot of AoE coming in from the side of River Falls on bot lane. Arrow Hunter opting in for an ultimate here on the Talia and putting everything he's got out, and the flash comes out. He's trying to get one more ability out, and there it is. No sweat, really. After every ability, he gets a little bit of a dash, just puts him closer to Talia. And after that E Spring Trap comes out from Talia, they're in that rock field. There's nothing for them to defend themselves with.
Hot damn, Arrow Hunter making it look easy over here on the Mbessa in mid lane against somebody who should be theoretically winning. A solo kill in the mid lane from a public execution into a flash secures him. 1 kill on the board for River Falls, bringing it to a tied 1-1. This is what we were talking about earlier. There's going to be a lot of these skirmishes. And now, as we're going to hit into this ultimate wave, this is where the mid game can kind of start picking up. This is where we leave the early and the laning phase. With all of these ultimates on the board, there's no telling what could happen. And as I'm talking about that, Fridgley is now hovering for a bottom gank.
And Enchanting has opted for the Dark Seal as well, so we're just going to ramp up even more AP.
I was going to call out that both bottom laners both have a Dark Seal.
Oh my god, I didn't even see Eerie had one. That's a move and a half right there for the support picking up Dark Seal. He's ballsy. They know what they're doing over here. Oh, he's caught out under the turret.
Arrow Hunter brought down to 1 health, but is able to slide in between the rocks, threads the needle right to safety behind his 2nd-tier turret. And Mbessa is not going down today, no siree, but he may lose a little bit of tempo.
The wave prioritization in favor of River Falls on the spot lane is insane, because maybe the minion wave gets up to 2nd bush, but if she wants, Enchanting can just push it all back and say, no, you can go back under your turret. We're done with you guys here. If you want to come out a little bit, we'll just hit you with all we've got, all this AoE that we've got, just with your name on it. It's ready to go. It's ready to ball. That's where they all are. It's just pushed up under turret.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when it was used, but Eerie's ultimate is down. It will recharge very fast, so the Karma will have ultimate back up very soon. So I'm going to be interested if they try to make a play right here. And just as I'm saying that, You Are Done has to burn the flashes. Melio trying to get back to the first-line turret. Seaman trying to bring some cover for his boy, but Enchanting is pumping down the damage out of mana and out of options. Seaman might be in trouble right now. Enchanting pops the ultimate, and Syndra picks up the kill. Another kill for the bottom lane right now, as we've seen from week and week again. We keep hyping him up. Eerie and Enchanting.
Oh, the Talia's here.
It can't be beat, but now Monster Summoner
Enchanting's not done.
Take out a kill. Enchanting is not done. Trying to take.
Fridgley's here too.
The bandage toss.
Oh, he's peeking.
Is bringing some support for the boys and the girl. Eerie is also still alive. What is happening right now? Fridgley's brought down to half health with the flash burn. It's not going to be able to matter because no kills are coming for Oklahoma. They're all going in the way of red.
Enchanting was not done. Eerie walking up through the Talia after the Spring Trap came out, through the Talia rocks with a shield on him, just ready to stun, and then Enchanting with a CC wave that just pushes, who was it? Talia back into the wall. And that's just game over at that point. The amount of CC that was put onto this Talia after they used the wall, I mean, it was. From an Oklahoma standpoint, you're stuck in here with us and you're not going anywhere, but River Falls just turned it back immediately, and we're going in for round 2.
Oh my heavens, I was going to make a comment on the last fight, but looks like we're going to be getting into another team fight. Seaman wants some revenge. Eerie may be in trouble. The flash is still available for this Karma, and he is just sidestepping every single ability. You cannot catch this Karma. He's too fast with upgraded boots already, and they don't know what to do. Oh my goodness, Gavin. Just like these players on River Falls, I am sweating like crazy. I put on my good shirt for this and everything. Good golly.
You're going to need some
this
deodorant.
This is incredible, League of Legends. I know. I brought my Old Spice right here just in case.
Not sponsored. I think we legally have to say that.
It's not Old
Product
Spice,
placement.
It's Cold Nice.
It's
my own brand. Yeah, Cold Nice. Pick it up. Your local happy store. Anyway, going back into the bottom lane, a root comes through onto Seaman. The flash is burnt out and a kill is not secured, but they will take that trade any day of the week. Now, all that Seaman has at his disposal is going to be that super mega death rocket.
And Ravenhood is in lane. He might be in need of a back here. He's still rocking just the Bramble Vest. Really early purchase. He's had this for a while, but he's just been tossing it out with his Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy has a Tunneler and a Warhammer and a Doran's Blade and still losing these trades. I think it was just Ravenhood slowly learning this matchup, and we've seen him grow already. Still winning now. Poppy almost got solo killed from proxy farming. If the ultimate didn't land properly onto Ravenhood, he would have gotten that kill. So Odin needs to be very, very careful here, as once this next back pops from the Malphite, he may be getting a full item.
Definitely, and Ravenhood's being super attentive with these bucklers coming out from Poppy. Poppy throws out that buckler, it hits him, it pops out on the field, and if Poppy goes and picks it up, she gets a ton of self-shield, and Ravenhood's fighting for it. He's like, no, come here. He almost had it. He almost had it too, but as we just saw there, if Poppy picks it up, she gets herself a shield. If Ravenhood steps on it, it's gone, and she can't use that anymore. And Ravenhood is, I mean, he's just farming out. He's just a chill guy up on top lane. That's what he does.
This is something we've always talked about, the growth of these players, because we've casted them for so long, but it's really awesome to see Ravenhood. He's becoming this like lane master of tempo. He has these leads. He has these leads into Poppy, but he's not perma pushing the wave into the tower and just giving her free CS. He's keeping it frozen. He's bringing the minions back to his turret to try and slow down the process. He's playing this very, very well. Enchanting
getting jumped here by the Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao ult comes out, but right after he gets stunned by Eerie, so he's not able to push up into that, and unfortunately didn't knock anybody back either. Fridgely's going in. He traps out Goldilocks here, and the big stun, big AoE ulti from Fridgely comes out, and Punisher comes out from Arrow Hunter as well, kind of out of nowhere. I almost didn't see him. And they pushed Oklahoma University right back into the turret.
So many flashes were burnt there on the side of Oklahoma University, and for what? They had to give over their jungler in the end. Fridgely with that over-the-wall bandage toss into the ultimate, comboed in with a public execution from Arrow Hunter, was beautifully done by River Falls. And their reward? Mountain Drake.
Mountain Drake, the second Drake of the game, so we will now see what the soul is going to be. We got Hexgate spawning, so we're going to get some Hextex. We get some Hextex Drakes up in here.
And I apologize if I burned out anybody's ears. I just realized that when I was moving, I bumped the sensitivity on my microphone, and I am probably coming through my pot.
Oh, Odin here with a couple of turret shots here. Opted for ulting Ravenhood, so Ravenhood couldn't push him under the turret here, but ended up taking a couple turret shots. And Ravenhood might be looking for something here. He's got ultimate, he's got Thornmail, full item here, and Arrow Hunter taken for a solo fight on monsters here.
Ooh. Goldilocks is here for the backup, though. Monster popping that minefield just in time before the dash can be used by Mbessa. A kill picked up for Oklahoma University. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, You Are Done and Seaman are struggling for their lives, as this Amumu, Syndra, and Karma are not giving them an inch.
Really good read by Talia here on University of Oklahoma. As before the Springtrap even came out, Arrow Hunter was going in, had to fall back. The rock field went out, and then as Arrow Hunter casted his ability, Talia placed the Springtrap. Arrow Hunter perfectly scripted out, just went right into the Springtrap, got launched forward, and just was able to make quick work of that. So really, really good play here by the Talia.
Now, this is very well done by Ravenhood. I keep highlighting the boxing matches in the top lane, even though they're not the most interesting part of the game, is that even though he does have the Bramble Vest, he does notice that the Poppy has a Sundering Sky, which does give her a little bit more sustain, especially in the fighting, so he does not want to overextend, even though it looks like he's winning the matchup. Very, very well temperament right now by Ravenhood. And in the bottom lane, we're seeing some very well-played League of Legends ourselves. The turret will be taken pretty soon. Enchanting does get rooted within turret range, takes 2 of the turret shots, but Eerie is there for the backup, helping out the bottom lane.
Oh, and they see the Mbessa there.
Odin is going for another proxy farm, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do this because Fridgely is here.
Oh my gosh!
The ultimate comes through from Ravenhood, picking up that kill with a revenge tour in the top lane. Fridgely with the assist gives his Malphite the lead he needs.
Maybe a little bit of insult to injury there, as both Fridgely and Ravenhood opted to ult this Poppy into oblivion, and Arrow Hunter is ready to fight this thing, and he's flashing over that Talia wall, and Eerie's there, maybe just hits him with a W, gonna root him after the time comes, so Talia knows there's nowhere to go, and unfortunately you can't run away from Eerie here, especially with the self-shielding that also gives the ally shielded a speed boost.
Oh my goodness. Is Eerie a Bong Joon-ho movie? Because he is everything, everywhere, all at once. You cannot escape him on the side of
Oh my gosh, the shred coming from
as Eerie and Enchanting the bottom laners of River Falls shred apart the Milia.
Halfway down through the turret, like they're almost behind the turret at that point, and just Enchanting pops a, you know what, I'm gonna press my R key right now.
You thought you were safe.
And they're absolutely shredding this turret. It's 3 grubs on either side here, but 3 grubs is just enough that River Falls needs to take another T1 here. But Goldilocks is looking to finish Syndra here, as Enchanting and Eerie are running to the safety of Fridgley as he's here. But Goldilocks has got his blinders on. He's looking for Enchanting here, and if Fridgley just doesn't want it to happen, as another Bandage Choss is here. Odin comes down from top lane into the river and is able to pick up that kill. Fridgley is able to finish off Zins out here, and they're not done.
The stun is popped to secure the kill onto Enchanting, but what more can Oklahoma get? They may be able to claim the life of the jungler Fridgley. Fridgley is brought down to 1 health. In fact, Poppy gets a double kill onto Eerie as well. This is absolute mayhem for River Falls. They might have bit off a little bit more than could chew. Odin brought down to very low health, but You Are Done is there for the assist. The big kick comes through as the soccer ball lands onto the behind of Ravenhood. However, he's walking away all sweet, just a little bit worse for wear.
Ravenhood just got his ultimate there, so if he absolutely needed it, he could have gotten out. But that buckler, very well placed, very well timed, was just able to do enough damage to finish Eerie off as he was running away. If that buckler didn't connect, I think Eerie would have gotten away with his life there.
Oh, and just as we're complimenting Oklahoma, You Are Done does burn the heal right there on himself just to get away. The Melio using the heal. That is gotta sting. Arrow Hunter might be caught out in no man's land. They do have vision in this bush. They know exactly where he's going. Goldilocks and Monster Summoner are trying to hunt him down. Goes unstoppable on the public execution onto Goldilocks, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh.
Maybe it will. No, it won't. Monster Summoner claims the kill onto the Mbessa. The cavalry is here, though, as Goldilocks falls to Enchanting. The rest of the team is trying to look for more, but Monster Summoner is already over towards the Tier 2 turret. It's a 1-for-1 trade to the bottom lane.
Ravenhood and Fridgley opting to prioritize that they get a kill off of these dives, as Ravenhood goes in with the unstoppable missile. Oh, and I think I froze here. I don't know what happened. Why did everybody stop moving? Oh.
These bandage tosses are incredible from Fridgley, might I add. Through the wall, over the wall, it doesn't matter. Trying to cover his boys as much as possible, even if it leads to his own demise. Blah, blah, blah. I'm stepping over my words. I'm getting so excited. I'm so sweaty. Good golly gracious. But it doesn't matter for River Falls. They have 2 Drakes under their wing. They got the Cloud Drake and the Mountain Drake. Looks like they're going to be setting up for a third, going on to Soul Point. In case you don't know what Soul Point means, it means you're 1 Drake away from getting a Dragon Soul. And if you don't know what that means, it means once you get 4 dragons in your possession on the very top of the minimap, right under the gold and kills, you get a Dragon Soul, depending on the dragon that you slay.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oof. All right, where was I? I'm kind of just discombobulated after that freeze. You said it best. This game is going to be skirmish, skirmish, skirmish. There's going to be a little bit of farming here, a little bit of side laning here, and then there's just going to be fisticuffs throughout the entire thing. And Oklahoma might be down 5 kills here and 3 Drakes, but they're staying in this. They're only 1K gold down. So whatever they're doing it pretty all right. So they're still in this game. River Falls is a formidable foe here today in the Rift. So we've got a couple of games after this, I'm sure, but Ravenhood opting to push back Poppy here in this fight, and we're kind of at a standstill for what's going on. Maybe clear some vision here on topside River, and set up for a Rift Herald take, or maybe forcing a fight here in topside River. It looks like Arrow Hunter's on bot side, looking to push push a wave. Goldilocks wanting to finish off somebody here. His flashes into it, knocks Fridgley up with the 3rd Q. Fridgley's going to flash out to safety, and they're just going to kind of regroup and wait for Arrow Hunter to arrive.
Oh, yeah, that is not going to be good, though, on the side of River Falls. Fridgley's flash is now burnt, but Monster Hunter Monster Summoner, rather, might be in trouble right here as he's caught in the mid lane. The rest of the team is trying to come to the rescue, but he gets rooted. The shield comes out for Melia, and the redemption goes huge. Fridgley gets healed up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough for the crying mummy as he is sent back to the tomb and his own sarcophagus. Ravenhood might be next as they're chipping away at the stone, freezing up a little bit. I don't know which way the fight is going to go, but I can't believe if Ravenhood survives this, I will absolutely eat my shorts. Looks like Enchanting is just going to pop a back here. We're going to rewind a little bit. We're going to look back onto this Monster Summoner, see how he lives.
All right. I'm not sure what's going on here. I guess my spectator's catching up to itself. Didn't know that was possible.
That's all right.
No, Ravenhood, run! The frame 1 of Malphite ult. This is what it looks like. Live frame 1 Malphite ult.
Oh, it looks like Sonic the Hedgehog hitting the spin dash. No.
What? I don't know what's going on here. I've never seen this before.
Oh, that's all right. If we need to reset and fast forward to this point in the game, that's totally fine. But at this point, River Falls might be fumbling the ball just a tiny bit right now. They're handing over kills that is a little bit too much to hand over. They don't understand that they have a lot of squishies on their team, not a lot of frontline. Goldilocks is just so tanky right now, and especially with that Conquerors that's going to refill his HP every time he gets enough damage off. And with his ultimate, which is a giant AoE that pushes everybody else away, he can single out Enchanting whenever he wants.
And funny enough, after all this bloodbath happening, Poppy on the side of University of Oklahoma is the only champ here with a bounty on her head.
4-1. That's probably how she got the Sundering Sky and what is that, Chilling Heart? I can't quite make that one out.
I think that's Winter's Blessing.
Winter's Blessing. Yeah, one of the frost ones.
Yeah.
One of the cold themed ones.
One of those Freljord items, whatever they do.
But yeah, a lot of kills. Honestly, a lot of kills on the Poppy is more of a good thing for River Falls instead of having a bunch of kills on the Jinx. Jinx only has boots, a crit cloak, and one full completed item alongside the Doran's Blade. Meanwhile, we have Shadow Flame and Hextech Gun on the side of Enchanting, so a little bit further ahead for the 6-1 Syndra.
For sure. I'm trying to figure out here why my spec game is freezing. Am I doing something wrong here? All right.
That's okay. Well, while we're waiting, look at this. You see that?
League of Legends.
League of Legends poster.
Whoa.
I was going to set up a bunch of Magic Gathering posters and stuff, which is what all these cards are. Don't worry, I'm just organizing them. And I was going to set up a big old Cthulhu poster. I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to have my webcam on. I haven't busted this out in forever. It's going to be sick. And I decided it's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be more thematic if the only thing I have in the background is a League of Legends poster. I don't even know what it's of. I think it's Senna and Viego or something like that.
Yeah, the Sentinels of Light poster, I think.
Sentinel, yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're right. It is the Sentinels of Light
All right.
poster.
We're going to back up. Hopefully this time we can get past 20 minutes. Hold your breath. We're going to watch Fridgley die.
Fridgley die for a third time.
Ravenhood's going to run away, I'm guessing. Okay, there's the freeze.
No,
all right.
unfortunately it does.
League client's going to stop us.
A reset here for a little bit, but that is okay. I don't know if we have anybody in the production room that can switch it over just to our smiling faces. I don't know exactly what we have for the remote casting, but
oh, it's me.
So you know, we will maintain entertainment for as long as we can.
It's all me.
As we stay standing. I'm trying to center it out a little bit more so it's not just the top of my head.
All right. We're going to load back in here and see what happens.
Here, we'll get a third caster on board.
A special appearance.
This is King
Oh.
Louis. And he loves League of Legends.
All right. We
Back
got
in the game, it looks like
oh, no. I can't go back. Let me go back.
No.
All right. We're getting back at 3
good
minutes.
Lord.
So I believe it looks like
River Falls did pick up some more kills.
Yeah.
9-15. I think it was 8-13 last time.
Yeah, that's what I was
That
going to
means,
say.
Ravenhood must have gotten away, or he was the last one that died. No, he got away because he's only 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let the dog down because he's just licking and loving everything. He just loves League of Legends. He gets so excited.
It's true. It's true.
Go boy.
All right.
And now we are back in the game.
Ooh, a big hook here.
Lands onto Odin, but that might not be the appropriate target as Odin just takes that in stride, pushes into the rest of the enemy team, but there is no backup for this Poppy. Are they going to have enough damage to kill him before the cavalry does arrive? In fact, the redemption goes through. Arrow Hunter trying to 1v5 the entire enemy team goes down. It's a 1-for-1 trade from the top laner and the mid laner. This is going to be soul point. A Hextech soul is going to be on the line for River Falls. Can they make it happen?
Wonderful call or wonderful sidestep here by Enchanting to dodge that that Poppy engage and keeping herself alive as Poppy was just trying to maybe do a little bit of insult to injury. And this is what you did to me. I'm going to give you a couple battle scars for this. But this Drake is not going down without a fight, and it was stolen by the Super Mega Death Rocket.
No way! I was about to say it's going to be a smite fight between River Falls. Monster Summoner brought down to 1 health. Can Enchanting finish off the kill? Yes, he can. It's going to be Seaman now. It's cleanup crew. Enchanting trying to clear out the ward as
somebody's got to get away here.
She is not going to be able to get out of the pit and falls to the hands of the Jinx. Jinx with almost, what is that, 3 kills if you're counting the dragon right there in that team fight? Incredible. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect the Mega Death Rocket.
Arrow Hunter's here. Arrow Hunter smells blood.
I thought for sure that Fridgley would have been able to land the smite. I don't know if he just didn't have it up or if the Super Mega Death Rocket just did that much damage, but you're absolutely right. Looks like there's blood being smelt in the water by Arrow Hunter. Meanwhile, the Poppy's going to be pushing up the tier 1 of the bottom turret. Let's see what happens here.
A lot of pings going off. It looks like Arrow Hunter stopped chase on the bot laners, and he's going to go in for the Poppy, or maybe just a little bit of a wave clear. A little bit of insult to injury. This is what you did to my turret. This is what I'm going to do to you. And Ravenhood getting a little bit big with the Sunfire now. He's going to increase his size.
Like sticks. I love the ability to just grow bigger and bigger. And I don't know if Odin wants this smoke right now. This is an Investo with not only Shojins, but Eclipse. Eclipse can hit very, very hard, even if you're running Sundering Sky and a health regen item like this Poppy. But the Rift Herald is going to be popped from the side of Oklahoma. They want this bottom tier 1 turret.
Definitely, and a lot of value from Eclipse is also that shield that we just saw Arrow Hunter get. It allows him to stay in the fight for a little bit longer, as he's going to try and finish off this Rift Herald so it doesn't get another hit. And a big ulti wall comes out here from Talia, and I guess we're going to go focus on bot lane because Arrow Hunter is always at the center of attention. And the Poppy knockup comes out. It's just almost going to be enough for him. This shield gain is insane.
Oh my gosh, luck buckle bounce from the Poppy, and the Sundering Sky proc gives him enough health and
meanwhile, enchanting with a triple? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we just completely missed it.
You know what? I can control this. Let's go back in time. All right, how do we do this?
So Monster Summoner pops off of the wall. Eerie pops the flash in order to land the root, and Monster Summoner just absolutely gets one-shot by this Syndra, and Chancing wants even more. Fridgley, I believe, goes for the flash ultimate, stuns up 2 of the enemy players on the side of Oklahoma, and gives 2 kills for his bottom laner. In the process, make that 3 as the Jink falls as well under the tier 1 turret.
Absolutely beautifully done and beautifully executed by River Falls on the mid lane. Unfortunately, lost the 1v1 on bot side, but overall, pretty good. We're up almost out 8 kills here. 6 kills, 8 kills.
And then so they are going to be able to get Baron here, and they might be able to march it down mid, but the only bad news is that the tier 2 on the bottom side for River Falls is going to be taken here. That is a big loss of tempo for them, although the Baron is going to be a big win. Nobody has teleport up, so nobody can stop this push.
The Baron for a tier 2 turret may be a little bit better, but definitely that bot side tempo for sure, because they're gonna have to keep it. Maybe, I mean, if it's excuse me, I'm stumbling over my words here, trying to decide what I'm gonna say. But the tier 2 on bottom and top side has been taken from River Falls, so Oklahoma University is one step closer from pushing into base and pushing into one of these inhib turrets. Tier 2 on mid is still open and available, and it looks like they're gonna protect these as well, but. River Falls is gonna be kind of pushing a little bit of everywhere, pushing up some lanes, trying to get some prio. As Oklahoma University is still keeping their cool after all said and done. So we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, this is going to be a game of macro now that we're hitting into the late game. Baron was taken, but as you said, 2 tier 2 turrets were taken, and now River Falls is much, much more susceptible to backdoor pushes.
Oh, fridges. They're looking to clear a bunch of wards here. They've got a control ward in the Dragon Pit, so they'll see if any action comes up. Looks like we're not due for a dragon for a while here. We're going to go back to Soul Point as the last dragon was stolen by University of Oklahoma. Oof.
Yeah, it looks like we're just going to be in more of a vision war right
I was going to say,
I have seen at least 5 wards get destroyed and put down on different occurrences in the past 30 seconds.
We had a lot of red wards on the south side of mid lane and a lot of blue wards on the north side of mid lane, so it's kind of well split. So choose your side.
Oh, heavens. Looks like they're going to try and march it down mid with a ton of these Baron minions. They just want
oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Enough as the cleanse is popped, but it does not matter. The Super Mega Death Rock is not going to be up for another 40 seconds. A lot of damage is going to be dealt to Enchanting, but he gets away with 1 health. No, she falls to the Xin Zhao ultimate. However, it was not enough just to take down Enchanting. 4 members of River Falls still stand, as opposed to 2 remaining members of Oklahoma, and they're in different lanes. Odin might be caught out here too.
That turret just looked done, and Ravenhood is just gonna tank these turret shots if he has to. It doesn't matter.
Those rocks are pebbles.
It doesn't matter
right now. Look at this. Eerie supplying those shields to his boy. Oh,
there's nothing you can. There's almost nothing you can do.
Ravenhood being brought down to about 3/4 health. Odin pops the ultimate, is able to ult away Eerie. There's gonna be no more shields.
Really good pick there.
Are they gonna be do anything right now? They might be able to turn this fight. It is going to be a 4v2, but the damage dealer is not there yet, and Jinx has respawned. Seaman has joined the game, and he is looking for a redemption arc.
Wonderful block here by Oklahoma, denying pretty much anything except for that tier 2 and or tier 3 and inhib. As River Falls is backing up to this dragon and they're trying to get to vision here, just in case, from Scuttle, and they're gonna see a big team fight's got to happen here before they want to take this Drake.
I think pulling off is the correct decision right now. Enchanting did not have the TP available to her, so they're just not going to be going in. But just as I said, that Arrow Hunter has to burn the flash up. Two double man stun lands for Enchanting, and a double kill for her name. Enchanting trying to be hunted down by Goldilocks, but it's not going to matter as the wind meets fire or whatever. Lightning meets wind goes like a fart in the wind. Nobody can touch this Syndra when there are 4 members of River Falls still remaining to cover their girl.
Wonderfully executed. Very interesting to see how Arrow Hunter kind of just by himself looped around, went up from bot side river, and just pushed up. Had 4 people on him, had to flash away, but as he flashed away, he basically just tagged in, gave Enchanting a high five. Enchanting went in and just 2-shot the Jinx, and then the rest of the team just kind of fell.
You said it best. It's really the relay race of skirmishes right there. Is that Arrow Hunter burned out so many of their summoner spells as well as their ultimates. Notice how there are 2 ultimates gone. Both of those were used going towards Arrow Hunter or trying to secure the kill on Enchanting after all of their normal abilities were spent. So very, very well played. That secures River Falls, the Hextech Soul, and they're sitting pretty for it.
Ooh, that damage is insane from so far away. Frigely is by himself. He's over the wall, but he's got enough teams and enough support from his team with that range that Eerie and Enchanting provide. And he can just stay up there. Raven Hunter is here as well with a big ulti coming in, and they're just going to... Frigely is going to fall, but Enchanting is going to fall. We're going to have a little bit of a turnaround here from University of Oklahoma.
Yeah, the kill feed does go back and forth, but... in the end, it all pops up for the blue side. Oklahoma taking back the game into their hands from River Falls. How are they going to be able to recuperate from this loss with just Ravenhood defending the mid turret?
Ravenhood's going to pop a little bit of a back here as Oklahoma's going to take a breath, see what they're going to do here, push up a couple lanes. They've got bounties to look for. Oh, and we might have some technical issues as it looks like Milio has been disconnected. Okay, maybe not. It looks like he's fine. I guess we'll chalk that up to League. Just wanted to say that, just give us a little bit of a message. Ravenhood's still by himself here. These cooldown or these death timers are pretty long, as we're about 32 minutes into the game, doing what we can do here as Ravenhood's pushing up with a super minion as well.
I wonder if River Falls is going to try and split push the top turret at all either, because they have not prioritized the top lane at all. The second Ravenhood could rotate. They just absolutely threw top lane to the wind.
There are Hextech gates as well available for both sides, so maybe they use that to kind of position themselves. But unfortunately, they don't. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of vision on top side. There's 2 control wards on the bot side, so they've got control wards there, giving them vision that'll never go away, which is pretty nice to have, especially quite near to your gates. Ravenhood and Eerie and Enchanting are going to take out that top turret, tier 1. All right, Arrow Hunter's going to try not to get himself into anything here. You Are Done is just going to CC him, and that range is insane.
Damage.
Oh, Talia
River Falls,
checking it out.
Mid laner for themselves.
Saying hello.
It is going to go short as the rock wall is going to be expended. They're not going to be able to use that to zone for the next team fight, but I think they're going to be happy with that as they take Arrow Hunter as a trophy. However, it looks like Oklahoma's going to be on the run as well. You Are Done gets absolutely one-shot by Enchanting, and with the ultimate up,
Frigely's ultimate is
huge. Threat of nature. Frigely trying to 1v2, but nobody is there to back up the sad mummy. Meanwhile, Odin is trying to 1v3 the rest of the entire team. Enchanting doing as much damage as she can, but it's not going to be enough. Odin is just simply too tanky. Ravenhood, Eerie, and Enchanting, the trio hunting down this Poppy, gets rooted, but it's not going to be enough damage to finish it just yet. The shield comes through, as well as a ton of damage hunting down Enchanting. A big shield comes through from Eerie, covering up his bot laner. Now Goldilocks might be the one in trouble, as Ravenhood is still standing like a mountain, big, tall, and ready to crumble right onto the forehead of Oklahoma's dreams. As that is a double kill for the Syndra and an ace for River Falls.
That on the side of River Falls, that looked like a great fight, and then it looked like it could turn around, and then it looked like a great fight, and then it looked like it was going to turn around, and then it ended as a great fight. Amumu with a fantastic ultimate right in the middle. I didn't quite see who he stunned, but he caught somebody almost exactly 180 degrees apart. He hit he hit a stun on his far right and his far left. Decided to go in for the far right. Unfortunately, lost that 2v1 fight as his ADC and his support were fighting it out with that Poppy. And I think River Falls is starting to almost underestimate this Poppy, because she was able to almost pick out Enchanting there, Enchanting with a huge Q that came out and just finished that Poppy off. But Poppy's, they're going to have to look out for her because she's got a lot of magic resist here coming in as well, and that'll protect her.
Oh.
Wow!
The public execution holds him down just for the bandage toss to land a CC chain. Just enough time for Enchanting to pop every single one of that Syndra's abilities in one shot. The ground summoner. Oh my goodness. I almost said sky summoner. I was thinking of magic so much. Goodness golly. Talia getting caught right there. Absolutely outplayed. Goldilocks taking a huge chunk as well. This Syndra is no joke.
Yeah, for sure. And River Falls going to look to end here as they've got Baron buff and they've got that Dragon Soul. And Ravenhood's ready to go in. And we got a lot of fights going on here. James, take it away.
Yeah, lots of fighting right now. Owen trying to cover for the rest of his boys right now. The first Nexus turret is going to fall. Poppy pushes in 2 members of River Falls, but it's not going to be enough as Frigidly lives with half of his HP. Eerie shielding up his boys. Now Odin bringing in a lot of the tankiness to the team, but it's not going to matter when you're facing 5 big threats of River Falls as they take game number 1.
Beautifully done, beautifully ended by River Falls. That was looking really good from both sides. And I mean, a 29k damage from the ADC and the top laner on the side of Oklahoma. 80k! 80k damage!
Oh.
24,000 gold per... Oh, 24,000 gold total on Enchanting's in Enchanting's pocket. Almost dropped a 30 bomb after that one. Beautifully played by River Falls. You love to see it.
That was absolutely insane, Gavin. My voice is hoarse and my mind is absolutely racing. I got a lot of multitasking going on the screen right now, and good golly, River Falls is making it really difficult but really entertaining to cast all this with so many moving parts. Love the draft. Interesting pocket pick on the Syndra and the Karma, but it worked out in the end. And Bessa Arrow Hunter and Frigidly on the Amumu is an absolute classic of a combo that we've seen before, and they proved it right now with the public execution into the bandage toss. I'm excited to see game number 2.
Absolutely. Let's get into Spec Cam here as we're rotating over to game 2 pretty shortly here.
There we are. The button-up shirt is going on because I am sweating.
This is
like a prostitute in church.
I mean, if you want to take some of these lane matchups to a conversation, I want to start with Arrow Hunter on this Mbessa versus that lane controller that was Talia. I mean, he played that incredibly well, and they had a pretty even match throughout as Arrow Hunter was trying to just tussle and pick fights with this Talia. Talia was almost not having it, but almost couldn't get away half the time. And it was the same on the other side as Arrow Hunter was fighting for his life in some of these fights and just couldn't get away.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so unique to see a pick that was supposed to be countering Mbessa, essentially. It's an ability mage that is supposed to outrange the dash carry mid laner that is Mbessa, especially with that rock flooring where the entire passive and kit of Mbessa is nulled out. And we saw, I mean, to Monster Summoner's credit, we did see a lot of really well done Talia walls as well as Talia rock floors. I can't remember for the life of me the stone shards that prevent dashes. Can't remember the ability's name, but still very, very well done. Very good placement. But sadly, I think it was just the River Falls synergy. And what we like to see out of them is the communication. And we saw a lot of that. We saw the target prioritization. We did see a little bit of mishaps here and there, like Frigidly bandage tossing over into 2 members at the very top next to their mid turret at the very end of that game right there. But in reality, that ended up being a good thing for the team because as Frigidly was distracting Seaman and the Milio, the rest of the team was dealing with the indestructible Poppy and was able to kill the Poppy before they, proceeded into the next ring of the fight, which could have turned the tables for River Falls. So even when there were mishaps, River Falls was able to pick it up on a dime's notice. And I really think we need to see Oklahoma shift things up a little bit more with the communication and the teamwork in the team fights.
Yeah, I think you said it really well. And I think River Falls was... I mean, as you said, maybe an unfortunate initiate, but the ability to follow up on pretty much any initiate that happened was really what River Falls took that game away with. And those random bandage tosses were followed up, and those random Arrow Hunter 1v4 initiations, especially that last one for believe it was Hextech Soul there. That last 1v4 initiation by Arrow Hunter turned into what could have been an early loss for a team fight, turned into an insane sweep as he was able to flash out, and Enchanter was able to just tag in, or Enchanting was able to tag in, and she just wiped. That Syndra was awesome to watch.
Enchanting absolutely big carry of the game. This is exactly what we said. We knew that it was going to be her game to run. You know, it's going to be Enchanting all the way. It's just a matter of giving highlights to these support characters that also carried their weight. I already touched on Fringely's Amumos, those bandage tosses. There's no way that Enchanting would have been able to survive without the Eerie shields. No way that any of the team fights would have been won without Arrow Hunter allowing the enemy team to essentially dump their kit into him. Even when he died, it was going to be a good thing because there were like 2 flashes and 3 ultimates expended just to kill this Mbessa. And Ravenhood, what more can we say with the big Malphite ults? Especially that last one going into the next 2 Nexus turrets. That Malphite ult right onto Seaman, knowing that that was good target prioritization, is exactly what you want to see out of this Malphite.
Absolutely, and we're just a couple of seconds away, just a minute away from game 2. Can you believe it? Just a minute away.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Right,
oh wow.
All right, awesome. Oh no, our spectators are full.
That's all right. I don't believe we can take a break when we're remote casting, which is totally fine. I'm going to be eating a little bit of food because I did not eat too much for lunch. So I hope you enjoy the smell of fish through your microphones and your headsets, because that's exactly what you're going to be smelling. I mean, going back onto the game though, we can't give enough props to the entirety of River Falls. I know that Enchanting really stole that game away with all of her incredible ults and the root landings. It's just basically skill shot. What am I trying to say? Without just repeating the terminology of mechanical skill over and over again.
Yeah.
Landing those skill shots was imperative to winning the team fights, but I think the supporting cast of River Falls really showed what they had here in game number 1. I'm super excited to see what they bring to game number 2.
Yeah, for sure. All right, where did all this stuff go?
We got a star-studded cast for you. We can't let Oklahoma get away with this either. We got to give props where props is due. Odin on that Poppy was an absolute menace to the entirety of the remaining team. Goldilocks in the mid game, landing those, I believe it's Wind meets Lightning, onto Enchanting. All of those really, really well done ultimates to push away 2 players from River Falls in order to focus on 1. Very well done. And for the rest of the team as well, You Are Done and Seaman in the bottom lane did their best to hold against the monster that was River Falls bottom lane. However, I think it was just a matter of time before they ran away with the game, and it was a matter of time before the Amumu roamed down for a gank and giving a bunch of free kills over to the Syndra.
Mm-hmm.
Well done nonetheless for both teams. Very, very good League of Legends, very entertaining League of Legends. We love to see things like that. We love to see a lot of the, I keep using the word skirmishes. I'm very, very repetitive tonight. But nonetheless, very, very entertaining and exhilarating, I dare say. So we'll see. We'll see if we go with similar strategies right now. I believe it was more of an engage comp from River Falls with the Amumu and the Malphite, looking for an engage rather than kiting. So I don't know if they're going to be changing up that strategy, or if, because this isn't Fearless. Fearless means that when you play a character, you cannot use it in the next game. Meaning that River Falls could, you know, potentially, probably, it's not very plausible, but they could potentially draft the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was just about to say something. No. Where'd it go?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Just tell me to shut up, man. Everybody knows that. Everybody watching this knows I talk too much.
No, it's perfect. You fit the job description. You're too good at your job. I was about to say something following up your statement, and then I
something about supporting cast overall. Teams played very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about draft.
The ability to peel off the Xin Zhao, because Xin Zhao was going to be the one thing that killed Enchanting. But the fact that Arrow Hunter was there, and then not to mention the double Qs available from Fridgley, allowing him to initiate the fight and then also lock down a unit during that fight. So if Xin Zhao wanted to go in, ult everybody away from him, go towards Enchanting, Fridgley was there with another bandage toss ready to go and just lock him down and say, you're not going anywhere, especially not after my ADC or APC.
Yeah, very well put. Bandage shots were incredible. I keep pointing that out. But I highlighted on bandage shots as being used for initiation of all. But yeah, defensively, using it to cover the rest of the team. Fridgley played absolutely incredible in this movie. We knew that we've seen him play this champion tons of times before. We know this is his bread and butter. butters. So it's very, very exciting to see him, basically master this carrying competitive play like this. The other guy I have to give props to is Erie. Those shields from the Karma were absolutely insane. I don't know if you saw that. When Enchanting was about to get one shot, the shield would bring her back up to full health for like the next 3 seconds.
Yeah, the self-sustain that Poppy had towards the late game, and the fact that Poppy was able to stay in so long. River Falls was almost like towards that last. There was maybe the second or third last fight there when it was Enchanting, Eerie, and Ravenhunter all 3v1ing the Poppy, and then Ravenhood ulted 2 members on University of Oklahoma, leaving Poppy to the bot laners, and almost took it away with that.
If not for your shields,
Right.
I don't know if you remember that. If we play the footage back, you will see the amount of shield in that top, or rather the mid lane tier 3 fight on River Falls side going toward tier 3. It is the one that you're referencing. When that Poppy was 1v3ing, she did almost die. And she should have died. But you have a Karma on the team that is going to give, I don't know if does Karma give mobility as well?
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's shields. Yeah, mobility and shields. Giving Enchanting the opportunity to sidestep everything.
Yeah, and the ability to increase the amount of shields with those support items, and then Eerie getting that ultimate back to empower an ability. So Karma's ultimate is available at level 1. It has a fairly low cooldown for being an ultimate, but it is just an ability that empowers all the next casted ability. Excuse me. So an empowered Q from Karma is a bigger AOE, and then it has that slow field that remains, and then after a second or two, it explodes again, doing a little bit of extra damage. The empowered W is for Karma, and this is why Karma was prevalent in bot lane so many years ago, or top lane, excuse me, as a tank, because an empowered W traps the enemy, and then once that trap actually goes off and they're snared, it'll heal Karma back for a decent chunk of HP. And then an empowered shield gives everybody around the area of the target that was shielded also a shield. So the shield is in a greater amount, I believe, also on the primary cast, but then everybody around the casted ally is also provided a shield. So hopefully that made sense for the most part.
No, I couldn't have said it better. I was just informed that my microphone is not doing very well on screen, so
What?
I don't really know what that's about.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I mean, can you hear me fine, or is that not?
I can hear you fine. Can I be heard?
Is it not Discord audio that's being picked up on the stream?
It is. I
Very
wonder
interesting.
if it's.
Yeah,
Is it me? Am
Is
I
it just
also?
during the loud parts, maybe?
No, it's during the whole thing. No, I'm totally fine. What the heck? No, that's so unfortunate.
Oh, was I just cutting out the whole time?
No, it sounds like you're just constantly, not like choppy, but like, I don't know. It's,
Oh no! Oh no! That's not good.
why does it do that? And it's totally fine for me. Why do I get to be privileged? I'm not special. What the heck?
That's so sad. I assume it's because it's going through you, correct?
It shouldn't. I mean, it's got to be something with restream, I think.
Oh,
Because
no.
I hear you perfectly fine.
Well, I can.
Odd.
Oh no! Well, that sure stinks.
Yeah. There goes the production
I'm going
budget.
to try and unplug and replug, and I'm going to get some water. Keep the folks entertained, and nobody judge my office space.
Oh, I'll do my best. If I had my getting ready screen ready, I would love to use that, but for some reason that doesn't want to be used. So I guess you'll just have to sit here and listen to me talk, which I'm not very great at, but we'll get through it. So I guess we get to encounter one unfortunate technical difficulty of the microphone. That stinks. I don't know what happened. All right, I believe it looks like we're drafting for game 2. So I guess we'll save. We love to talk about draft here, so we'll save draft for when James gets back. Let's see here. What can we set up to do here? I wish I could see why my background's not working. It just doesn't want to work today. Maybe it doesn't like the casted or the little GIF that I got playing. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed game 1. For those that are sticking around, we've got at least one more great game for you for River Falls versus University of Oklahoma, which I'm sure you can see everywhere on your screen at any given moment. So bear with us as we go through the technical difficulties and the pauses, because I guess I can't get a getting ready screen ready and available. Oh, it also says that we're streaming Rocket League, which is a problem. We're not streaming Rocket League. How do I fix that? Oh no. Update titles. Titles have been updated. I can't update the other thing, which is the game. I can't update game. I'll message my producer. Is this something I can do? All right. Well, we could talk about this draft.
Is the mic a little bit better now?
I don't know. You sound just like you used to, so I guess we'll have to wait 2 minutes to find out. We got a little bit of a delay.
Oh no.
All right.
That's so sad, man.
That is.
It's so sad. All right, that means that you have to take it over.
No, don't put this on me.
No, you have to shout cast and color cast.
Oh man. What are you gonna do? Sit there for the camera?
Pretty much. That's what I'm good at.
All right. No.
Everybody's been asking.
Nah, come on. All right. I just sent you a picture of the draft, so we can talk about the draft while we sit here and champ select here. So, I don't think these are matched up, but we can see River Falls has got, I cut off the titles, but River Falls and Ravenhood and Fridgley will not see a change whatsoever. We're going to see the Malphite again on top lane, and then an Amumu again in jungle.
Eerie. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. We're going to see the Karma again. Interesting to see that op, but looks like Mel and Syndra were banned on the side of OU. And for, I guess, just for ADCs, River Falls banned out MF. So we will not be seeing any of that.
They banned Erie's Lulu.
Oh no. Not
Erie's
the Lulu.
too powerful on this Yordle.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, run through red side draft right now. River Falls is going to be playing on the blue side.
Mm-hmm.
And now it looks like I believe that's Ohio.
Yep.
Or Oklahoma. Sorry, on the red side, and they have a very interesting draft right now. Is the Kale going mid lane? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would guess so. I would guess it's a Kale mid. Oh, we can see it here maybe. Oh, we're gonna run through the draft in live time. All right, screw this.
Oh,
we're looking at the draft.
Go.
All right, I'm guessing that they all pick their stuff. So we got a Renata Glask on support. Nothing out of the usual here. We do have a Kale mid lane. You're absolutely correct. We get to see an Olaf jungle, which you don't see very often.
Jeez.
And then a Mordekaiser's at top.
I wonder if I just hold the microphone closer.
Maybe.
Come in so choppy.
Well, it was like all the time. Okay. Well, we'll cross our fingers and
yeah, it's going to
see what we
be
can do.
Mord top, so it is going to be a Kale mid. Now, Kale mid is going to be interesting because you don't have permanent ranged ability, or rather ranged auto attacks from your passive right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hit level 11, I believe, for just to always be projectile basic attacks. So Kale needs to either use an activated ability to get ranged basic attacks against the Sylas, or she needs to CS with auto attacks that are within melee range.
Right.
Which is going to be very, very difficult against Sylas, who wants you to be within melee range.
Right. I was just about to say, I think Arrow Hunter knows that Kale can't do as much as she would like to do until she's leveled up. So I think we're going to see a lot of tussling here from Arrow Hunter, which is what we see every single game, and we're almost surprised every single game that he does exactly that, and he tussles. So we're gonna see a lot of early game tussling, and Silas with that lock on and just dash 2 and just amount of burst damage that he has. I'll be interested to see what kind of runes he builds here. I'm gonna be guessing it's electrocute, but I don't build Silas these days, so that might be beyond me. Maybe Silas support would be pretty cool. Just saying, he's got a self heal. He's got a CC. He can take the opponent's support ulti. That would kind of be cool. All right. Anyway,
Or you could steal away a super mega death rocket.
that would be cool. That would be a play.
Cool. What I'm excited to see is this Jinx matchup again. So C-Man was very, very good on this Jinx. We saw C-Man taking a lot of the team fights into his own hands and basically carrying the game next to the Poppy of Odin last map. So it's going to be interesting to see how River Falls tries to deal with this Jinx in the later side of the game, because during the mid/late game team fights, they didn't really understand that they needed to hyper focus the Jinx until it was already too late and like the game was already won just from their out-handing and just from the snowball effect. So I think that they're going to probably try and shut this Jinx down even sooner now. And on top of that, it's very interesting seeing enchanting on Ezreal instead of Syndra, because you can do a lot of bursts as Ezreal, but not near as much as Syndra. It's more of a sustained damage. So It's going to be a different play style that we're going to see out of the bottom lane, but I bet money it's going to be just as aggressive.
I believe Syndra was banned because I don't think.
Yeah,
I mean, if I was Oklahoma, I wouldn't want to fight that either.
It was Syndra, Lulu, and crap.
Oh, we have the screenshot right here. Ash.
We do. Oh, right. Was it Ash?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
It was Ash, Mel, Syndra, Lulu, and Seraphine. Almost all bot
Seraphine.
lane and supports were banned.
Seraphine was their first ban. Seraphine was the first ban. Then it was Lulu. Then it was Syndra.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah, I think they read the River Falls meta correctly. I think Oklahoma tackled their bans the best they could. I think that was the best bans that they could have gotten from this situation. You don't want to have Eerie on this Lulu. You don't want to have Enchanting, as they learned, on the Syndra. And I guess Seraphine, they're also very worried. It could be considered flex. I know that Arrow Hunter can really play it in the mid lane. Eerie can technically play it as support. And Enchanting, knowing that Enchanting can play mages in the bot lane, can also pick Seraphine as the bot lane. So that was a very good anti-flex pick.
Absolutely.
Or rather ban. But I want to see the build path, because Jinx is very on-hit ADC, correct? Meanwhile, Enchanting on the Ezreal, a lot of Ezreals build Manamune and what is the other one? Triforce, I believe?
Yep.
Some of them even do Soul Reaver. So it's going to be interesting to see how C-Man scales in the late game and how Enchanting scales in the mid game.
Mm-hmm. And that bicycle kick is just so useful later stages of the game. If anybody jumps on him, he's just gone. And it's got that weird little like after effect almost of, if you get stunned, there's still a little bit of a leeway time for you to just bicycle kick out anyway. So whatever. But focusing up on top lane, Ravenhood is really, really comfortable here on this Malphite, and hopefully he can position himself against this Mordekaiser and maybe get a little bit of help as well, because I believe the last time Ravenhunter, or I keep combining their names, I believe the last time Ravenhood was under this matchup, the second that Mordekaiser got, I believe it was Crystal Scepter first, all of the movement speed that Ravenhood had and he was able to move around with and utilize was just taken away from him. Big ward coming out from Enchanting, and Enchanting grabbing first blood? What? And Eerie's here. Oh my god.
Trying to take out
it's a fight.
Will fall. C-Man does get the passive from Jinx. Is it going to be enough with the Doran's Blade? No. Eerie picks up the second kill for the bottom laners, and you will take that every day of the week as Will falls.
That now ultimate.
Enchanting has a better back too.
That ultimate. Oh yeah, that tier immediately.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's so powerful.
Odin's also taking a bad trade from Ravenhood, even though Odin hit level 2 first.
Eerie with the Dark Seal again is insane. I can't believe it.
A Dark Seal from level 2?
Yeah.
That's gonna be nuts.
That ultimate came back at almost the exact moment for him to finish off that Jinx, because that Jinx had an extra. Oh my gosh, a really good trade here. Arrow Hunter is in here following. Okay, 5 kills. 5 kills at 246.
This is what we came to expect. Now that is also a feat of war for River Falls. So if you are Kale, Monster Summoner, you bought a lot of tempo for your Olaf. You were helping out your jungler a tremendous amount by not allowing this Amumu to go faster, because Olaf can theoretically clear faster and gank faster than Amumu, even though he does have those tethers. He's just a little bit more of a threat right now, as well as probably for the majority of the game. But
Arrow Hunter.
on the flip side, Arrow Hunter does get a feat of war for River Falls, which honestly you'll take that trade.
And he does get blue buff off of that, and with blue buff electrocute Silas, he's gonna be looking for skirmishes all the time. He's throwing out all those abilities.
That was the other thing I was going to highlight, was electrocute and lethal tempo got buffed. So it was going to be very interesting to see what he decided to opt for in the mid lane.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oof. And we might see exactly this last matchup between the top laners here, as Ravenhood has been just pummeled in the top side.
Enchanting knows
Oh my
exactly
god, the
what to
flash
do.
under
Oh
turret!
my goodness.
It's
I
insane!
was waiting for it.
She gets away with it every time. That's all she needs.
Oh my goodness, they're just toying with their prey at this point. You are done stepping up a little too far as the Renata Glass, the bicycle kick, as you said, right into a Q. Tremendous amount of damage, and you can't underestimate Doran's Blade tier Ezreal 2-1 off the bat. He's gonna run away with the mid game, or she's gonna run away with the mid game. He as an Ezreal.
It's not ballsy when this is just how you play.
That is very true. And when you have a support like Eerie,
Yeah,
who knows exactly how you're going to play this aggressive, like Eerie's sitting there like, okay, I should probably go up in lane. I should just be perpetually up in lane, because that's exactly what enchanting is going to always do.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
having the focus on you while having focus on the support while enchanting is able to just run in Q, maybe doesn't even hit that W little ring out yet. I mean, the amount of damage and force that they are once again applying on bot side is just tremendous.
Ravenhood missed the cannon. Sorry.
Oh,
That's never fun, because you always estimate the tower damage. I see exactly what he's going for.
Yeah.
But then a ranged minion did that last one little tick of damage after the turret.
oh
hit it.
no!
Killed the cannon. Oh no. That's all right. It happens to the best of us. This Mordekaiser lane was never supposed to be going good. So I think Ravenhood's just anticipating the mid game where he can start rotating around.
And Frigidly and Goldilocks here are very even in the jungle, as they are perfectly even on CS, including those I'm forgetting the scuttlebug in the river, as Frigidly
Scuttle crab.
Frigidly was able to take it and get vision on bot side. It just diminished They're just now going to walk up bot side here and place a ward on it. Maybe even start the Drake, it looks like, as they've got bot prio. And Olaf is around. He's taking his Gromp right now, finishing that thing off. And the bot laners are pushed up under their turret. But hopefully they can make quick work of it. Maybe I can go and see what we're doing down here on the bot side. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Cloud Drake will be secured for River Falls, almost guaranteed, unless this Olaf has something
Goldilocks
to say about
is
it.
coming
Goldilocks
in.
lands, but blue team does get the Drake. Frigidly lands on, gets the stun onto Goldilocks, does a lot of damage onto this Olaf. Olaf has a lot of damage coming through, and the Conquerors gives him enough health to get away. Nobody in the bottom lane was able to come and help. The ultimate is popped from Monster Summoner. Arrow Hunter steals the ultimate and takes a really bad turret shot. Oh my goodness, there's just scraps going every which way.
It's so close. I saw he was going for it. I didn't think he was thinking he was going to end up in turret range. Had he known he was going to take that turret shot anyway, I think he would have pushed up a little bit further and actually gotten that kill. Maybe overestimating Kale ulti damage. I'm not too sure myself. But a really good trade from both. Definitely.
So his own Kale ults could also do damage,
right.
But it was just too much movement speed on the side of Kale.
Just far.
With those tier 1 boots.
Yeah, and I believe, doesn't Kale heal also provide a little bit of a speed boost?
Yeah, I believe it's also a movement speed from the ultimate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you might be right as well.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Unfortunately, Frigidly did take a bad trade with Goldilocks, underestimating how much healing this Olaf can do, not only with the Olaf's abilities, as well as that Conquerors. That Conquerors is no joke. Frigidly is even running it. So I think it
Ooh.
was just a weird trade to take. However, the Amumu was going to try and go
Oh,
for
he's
Redemption
here.
Arc as the Bandage Toss lands onto a minion, but the ultimate lands true onto Monster Summoner's forehead. And now the mid laner has fallen. Arrow Hunter is sitting pretty for it. They might be going for this Olaf.
Beautiful, beautiful ult, beautiful
Next.
support
Ravenhood's
gang.
not rotating though. This might be a late rotate from this could be very bad for River Falls. If Odin is able to get some of these plants, Arrow Hunter going in does get the Mordekaiser ult. Brought into the Shadow Realm with Odin. Odin trying to pop the shield and the heal. But Arrow Hunter flashes.
Ravenhood is running past
him. Oh my gosh, Arrow Hunter gets a kill with a beautiful flash, dodging the ability that could have turned the tides of battle for that Mordekaiser. Now Fridgley lands the bandage toss onto the forehead of Goldilocks. Goes CC immune with the ultimate. The Ragnarok has been popped. Fridgley's flash secures his
Fridgley,
own
no! Oh!
just as I was saying that, the Kale comes back, respawns back from the dead, and is able to pick up one more kill for Oklahoma's trouble. However, if your River Falls, you'll still take that trade.
We're at more than 1 kill per minute here at about 8.5 minutes into the game. We're at 11 kills, which from the start, yeah, honestly, we can see it. Arrow Hunter's sitting at a solid 3-0, and he's looking for more as he's able to just lay into this Kale.
He is out of mana, though. He needs to be very, very careful. Kale does have the ability to create ranged auto attacks and can poke him down from even
The
inside.
Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. It's going to shut down. All that gold goes right into the pockets. Oh, perfectly
no.
timed and perfectly placed.
Miscommunication from River Falls. I don't know if they had vision on the Jinx or not, but that needs to be called out when there's a Super Mega Death Rocket on the board. You cannot sit into one position at all times. You need to back all the way back to your tier 2 tower.
Yeah, she was under tier 2 tower on the bot side. So, and they didn't have any vision in the jungle to see if that thing was on its way. So unfortunately, just a recall right on turret.
Yeah,
Very
some plates are going to be
very
collected
scripted.
for Odin as well, but I think it's going to be okay for River Falls. They still have a gold lead. They do still have a Drake lead. The Void Grubs were slain by
Ooh.
Goldilocks, so 3 Grubs do go into the hands of Oklahoma. However, it looks like they're going to be setting up some vision and a lot of jungle pressure from River Falls into this bottom lane and this bottom jungle. They might be setting up for a very late gank or a late Drake.
Ravenhood has a lot of magic resist, which is going to stop a lot of that passive damage
he's got
that
a shroud
Malphite can
already.
do.
Wow. Yeah.
This-
Good golly. Ruby Crystal on top of it.
Yeah, and the blasting wand from Mordekaiser's coming out here, but I think Ravenhood's sitting pretty good. Looks like Mordekaiser is going to pop up back at full HP. He's got teleport back, so it looks like he's just going to, yep, there's the Crystal Scepter, and Ravenhood's got to watch out here. That's going
Crystal
to
Scepter
take
is
away
going to be
all of his movement
devastating.
speed.
Absolutely. The good news about Ravenhood right now in his position is he also does have TP up, so he can go through. The Enchanting Ultimate lands onto the support of Oklahoma, but it's not going to be able to secure any kills. Fridgley just clearing out some wards right now. Maybe wanted to go for a gank, but Olaf is hovering here. River Falls certainly knows. Ultimate is popped from Monster Summoner. He goes immune from the Kale invincibility. Now Arrow Hunter is going to be in trouble as a lot of those ranged flash comes through, and the stun does not land. Berserk goes enchanting. The Bicycle Kick is trying to get away. Oh my gosh, the
Fridgley's here to protect.
Protecting his boys. Goes CC immune. Fridgley might fall at the hands of Goldilocks.
Oh,
and the flash
no.
goes through from Seaman as well. The speed boost from the Jinx is trying to narrow down these health bars, the remaining health bars from River Falls, but it's not going to be enough. Goldilocks throwing an axe, landing onto nobody from River Falls into the tier 1 turret.
You gotta be
no
really
kills
careful.
go back and forth.
You got to be really careful
goodness
here,
gracious.
as Enchanting and Eerie didn't quite tell, or they weren't quite able to notice, despite Fridgley throwing everything he had to keep 3 members of University of Oklahoma off of his team. Enchanting and Eerie were kind of swapping, seeing, I don't know if I'm going to back, I don't know if I can help here, and that almost costed both of their lives.
I think it's a severe underestimation of this Olaf's healing.
For sure.
I think they were trying to one-shot Olaf while he was in the Ragnarok form, which makes him CC immune, so they just wanted to dump everything they had all at once in order to maybe kill him, or else he's just going to run the rest of them down. However, I think they don't understand that the Conquerors, as well as just the straight healing from this Olaf, makes him basically unkillable. And now with Stridebreaker, they might be in trouble the next time a gank comes around.
Definitely, and he's got the free boots. Enchanting's also got free boots. Enchanting's also got Triforce here, so that'll be a lot of good damage, a lot of good attack speed.
Very a huge power spike for the Ezreal, yeah.
Arrow Hunter struggling with this fight against his Kale now, as Kale's got range on him.
Oh, he didn't pop the ultimate in time. He could have went immortal, and now Fridgley has to pay the price for his mid laner's mistakes. As 2 kills are collected from Oklahoma in the mid lane. Now Olaf's going to be going down towards the bottom river looking for another game.
This Olaf is everywhere, and this Kayle is incredibly formidable at this point. Enchanting's trying to throw up some damage here, but Eerie is getting caught out, and Enchanting's going in here on this Jinx and trying to finish her off really quick and is able to finish the job as Olaf is here and the Ragnarok comes out. CC Immune is here. That boosted movement speed and attack speed is just too much for this Ezreal to survive.
Yeah, Enchanting falls at the hands of the enemy jungler, but in trade did pick up Seaman on the Jinx, which honestly, it's a little bit better. You know, you have a little bit more gold in your pocket. Like I said, Triforce is a big power spike. Unfortunately, Fridgley did die in that mid lane engage, so he wasn't able to help with this team fight. However, he is able to help with this team fight as Eerie, Arrow Hunter, and Frizzler are trying to pick up a little bit more kills for their trouble. Goldilocks gets absolutely one shot as the bandage toss from Fridgley lands right onto his forehead. Arrow Hunter brought down to very low health. He does have the Kayle ultimate available to go immortal and go golden, but instead they decide to go get up out of there.
He's got double buff, or yeah, he's got double buff, so he's able to stay in this for a little bit longer. He doesn't have to pop a back. He's going to go back up to his lane. If he decides to fight Kayle, this might be a game changer for him. As they're just going to respectfully CC on their own, and Ravenhood is trying to fight off these minions as Malphite is just, or as Mordekaiser is just beating up that turret. Yeah, that Crystal Scepter is just doing so much for Mordekaiser here against Malphite as Ravenhood is trying to position himself. He's got a really good magic resist item here, able to keep Mordekaiser off his back for the most part. But really good roams here coming in from Kayle and from the Olaf, as Enchanting and Eerie are just getting caught out again. Trying to make something happen here, get some vision in, set up for a good gank for Fridgley to come in, and they're able to take that second Drake. It looks like attention was taken off of Oklahoma. I thought they had taken that already, but 2 Drakes will go over to the side of River Falls, so you'll always take those. Odin's just trying to do it, put in some pop damage. Is almost not able to get away with this. Fridgley throwing in a bandage toss under turret here. Gets trapped by the Jinx trap, but it's just outside of turret range. As they're able to put in some damage on both sides. And Kayle is right behind them as Fridgley's got to watch out. They do have vision. They do see the Kayle coming. Fridgley's got to run away, but Kayle is just too fast. And he's going to run up, take a little bit of attention off of his bot laners, let them get away. But Fridgley is paying the price. But that's what he does. He's the sad mummy. He's going to protect himself. And he's going to protect his teammates by sacrificing himself. And Arrow Hunter going in to fight this Kayle, as Kayle is going to ult herself, get away with that. And the Super Mega Death Rocket looks like coming in, and it's going to hit Ravenhood almost as it goes right a little bit south. Oh, Ravenhood or Arrow Hunter might be looking for something here, as Kayle is really low under this turret. He doesn't have ultimate available. Arrow Hunter, all very ballsy player here on the mid lane, and this super fast attacking tank. He's throwing it out, almost hits that Kayle. Could have been the end for Kayle. Put a 250 gold bounty into his pockets, but
yeah,
Riverfall is gonna have to regroup, recollect, take a breath, reevaluate where they're gonna go here. Laning phase is almost gonna be over, or at least gonna switch up, as it looks like Olaf is gonna be taking Rift Herald.
We're going to see a lane
big
swap
stun.
right now. Can the root land? Yes, it does. The root does land. Enchanting pops the ultimate and an auto attack to secure the kill onto Odin. And that is revenge for Ravenhood's previous death at the mighty gavel of Judge Mordekaiser, as he gets sent to the Shadow Realm himself from the hands of Enchanting.
Oh, it looks like Olaf peeled off of the Rift Herald because of the fight on top lane, possibly. But we've got a 3v3 here in the mid-side river. Just about a 3v4 if Ravenhood needs to pop down. Yeah. His ultimate is available.
Posture here. He should be able to. Meanwhile, while we were talking as well, the bottom lane tier 1 turret was taken, and now they rotated Arrow Hunter just to cover, which I think was the very, very well done, correct choice. Monster Summoner does not have the ultimate, but he does have a lot
that
of auto
damage
attacks.
is just insane.
Pops out. This is what we were talking about. The level 11 Kayle cannot be snowballed like this because the auto attack range is just absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, Arrow Hunter did not have his own ultimate, or rather the Kayle ultimate, to steal away, even though Monster Summoner didn't have the opportunity to go invincible. I
think if River Falls can just focus on some turrets here, focus on some objectives, I think they can still stay in this. They just have to be careful to not initiate anything, but that's really hard to do when you've got a Mordekaiser and you've got an Olaf with that ultimate coming in, and a Renata Glass that can just stop everything, berserk everybody, and Fridgley's fighting for his life here.
That was a big ultimate from Ravenhood, waiting for the Mordekaiser to come out of his own ultimate, is able to land up 2 kills, 4 Enchanting. Enchanting brought down to half HP. Seaman is just trying to get into the middle of it. Shield comes through from Eerie to protect Enchanting, and now the Redemption is going to heal up the remaining members of River Falls as they hunt down this Renata Glass Arrow Hunter, looking for another kill.
Oh, the Q!
What a great Q
So
from
perfect.
Renata. Grabs him and throws him away into the wall. She will live for one more day, but how much longer will that be?
Absolutely beautiful execution from Renata Glass to keep herself alive as that assassin just pulls up, pops out over the wall, and would have been able to latch on and bring himself to it and just finish off Renata in the small sliver of health that she had left. But it looks like Renata Glass also with a dark seal. I guess it's the thing to do now on AP mage tank or mage supports, which we'll give them a little bit of extra something, as we can see Eerie is capitalizing here for sure with 7 stacks already on there. A little bit of a reposition here as River Falls is focusing on bot side, going to prioritize this Drake because it looks like it's going to be up in about 45 seconds maybe. But we're fighting here. Arrow Hunter uses the Kale ult on himself, executes the Kale here, and Fridgley comes in trying to protect his mid laner as that Ragnarok comes in from the Olaf, and Arrow Hunter will also fall, and Ravenhood also falling as he's just trying to tank it and everything he can. And the cavalry is here. The rest of River Falls is here, able to pick up the kill on the Renata Glass because Enchanting is not quite done as she's throwing out some abilities, and they're just wide. They're able to pick up some roses along the way. So it's not all bad.
Yeah, Enchanting is going to be on a killing spree after that. Eerie landing the root onto You Are Done is going to be enough to secure that kill. Meanwhile, on the top side, Odin is going to be a split pushing this tier 2 tower might fall, and that is going to be a tempo killer for River Falls despite winning the Drake fight in the bottom lane.
We do have, yeah, that was a really good fight. Overall, honestly, by River Falls, able to secure them this Drake, no matter how many lives it costs.
And they're on soul point yet again.
Absolutely, and this the objective taking.
It's a mountain Drake soul.
Ooh, it is. That'll help them keep alive for sure. Picking off Goldilocks here.
Over the wall. Yeah, Goldilocks failed his flash over the didn't fail his flash, but he flashed over the wall into the waiting hands of Fridgley. Now Monster Summoner pops the ultimate, goes golden and immune to all damage, doing a lot of range damage onto this Kale. Eerie might be in trouble here next as Seaman picks up the passive proc from the Jinx. Ravenhood might be the next one in trouble here, but he runs away as he has a speed boost of his own, and it's called the Q.
The amount of range that is on this Kale, the amount of range that is on this Jinx and Renata is just too much. And I could be wrong, but I think that axe throw from Olaf also slows, but he's got Chilling Smite too, so we can slow them down as well. And River Falls is just getting caught out, and they're just having to run with their tail between their legs and regroup, but that regroup is not an option as Oklahoma is just looking to finish the game here as fast as possible. Ravenhood's trying to defend his T2 mid turret. Jinx will take a turret shot for her troubles, and Ravenhood will have to push up the lane as best he can with that passive shield coming in and that one passive buff coming in. Oh, we're going to have an Otacon take as well by Oklahoma. It looks like Kale might be executed here. Oh my gosh, and the ultimate from Enchanting comes out into that bush.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why you gotta love vision in that bush. And they're able to take all the fruits of the labors from Oklahoma.
No. If this was the other Otacon, that actually would have been a win. Despite giving 2 kills over, that would have been a win getting the Otacon, because that means 3 members have basically a free GA. But because, as you said, we had 5 kills in the first 2 minutes of the game, that means that the Ravenous Otacon spawned. What the Ravenous Otacon does is it does not give you a free GA. If there is too much blood in the game and there's over a certain amount of kills in the game, it just spawns a bunch of death flowers after its kill. Oklahoma did get a lot of Otacon gold from that, but they did not reap any of the rewards, and aka they did not reap the fields of the flowers that they planted. Very, very well done by River Falls to capitalize on understanding what they were doing on the map, what their opponent wanted to play for, and able to engage into their opponent's weak points.
Absolutely great pickup and a really
I'm
good
choking. I'm so excited.
a really good response by River Falls as they're noticing now that they are able to respond as long as they keep those comms up and they keep themselves together, keep everything working fluid as a team, and as long as everybody is on the same page, they can push up onto the same types of things and reclaim what they may have lost. So they're keeping this game pretty close. The gold gap might be a little bit larger than they'd prefer, and Oklahoma has a lot of potential to destroy these turrets that River Falls has. But they're gonna 2v1 this Rift Herald in mid, which Rift Herald is a little bit far away from its pit. So
I'm surprised they didn't let it just expire because Rift Herald does give gold over to the enemy team, so they could have just not used it and not given gold over, but whatever, maybe they didn't understand that. Monster Summoner waiting for his own pick down here as he knows that he can outrange anybody on the enemy team, and Arrow Hunter might be in trouble right now.
He's gonna have to fight it.
Does land, but he goes airborne. The ultimate is popped. Both ultimates are popped as Arrow Hunter goes gold himself.
The healing! Oh my god!
You know, a trade goes back and forth as they trade blows and punches, and eventually they will share the same shallow grave in the bottom lane.
That heal was the W heal was the perfect amount, perfect time, and Arrow Hunter understood that it was either kill or be killed, and I mean he did both, so he did his job.
That's crazy.
Wonderful done, wonderful mechanics. Excuse me, as he was able to hold on to he was able to grab and hold on to that KO ult, protect him from the enemy KO ult, and oh my gosh, that was frame perfect.
And honestly, with Kale off the board, a lot of River Falls members have freedom to move around the map now, as that is the biggest 1v1 threat in every side lane.
Definitely. She's just so fast, and she's got so much range. There's nowhere to go.
You can argue that Odin is as well, but Odin does not have the amount of speed and safety that Kale does.
Definitely. He's got a lot of health and a lot of AP. He's going to do a lot of damage if he can catch you as a solo and smack you down with that hammer. His Q does more damage if there's only one enemy hit. So if there's even one minion in right where, say, Ravenhood is standing here, it won't do as much damage as it could. But Ravenhood, with an insane amount of magic resist here, it doesn't phase him. He's got a passive shield. That tanks up everything.
He's waiting for the passive to heal back up, and then he's just going to go right back into this poke fight. Meanwhile, I don't know if Oklahoma wants to contest this or not, but Mountain Drake has spawned, and that's going to be soul point for River Falls and soul if they obtain it.
Eerie and Enchanting in a tight spot there as they were almost frontlining against that Kale, but Frigely and Arrow Hunter were right behind them, so they were able to push Oklahoma off and say, this isn't the fight you want quite yet, but we're going to have a full-on team fight here in a second.
Yeah, pretty close right now. They're just kind of hovering around each other. The pull comes through from Odin, picking up Frigely. Oh my gosh.
The
Berserk
Berserk.
Across the board, there's going to be a lot of hostile takeovers that are popping every which way as Arrow Hunter did steal the Renata Gloss ult and pops it back the other way. You are done and Seaman were hitting each other. Now they're hitting the enemy team. Arrow Hunter tries to go in onto the enemy carry, but no. Going to be moving a little
and
too
that
fast
Jinx
for
is
that.
so
Jinx
fast.
Passive pops out so much. Enchanting brought it down to the last one. Pops the shield and the flash comes through from You Are Done, securing that last kill for the Renata Glass and the last nail in the coffin for River Falls.
That was a lot, and that was a really quick team fight, despite there being a couple tanks on both sides, and that's gonna just secure. That was all just for soul point. So well done by Oklahoma to keep River Falls from getting this Earthstone, Soul Stone. Goodness gracious, Mountain Drake, Mountain Soul. Excuse me.
Soul,
oh my
yeah.
goodness. And given River Falls just so much shield and so much durability during these fights, which really is going to help them stay alive and help them pick fights as they can. But this Jinx just has so much sustainability, and after one kill is put in her pocket, she's able to just move, and that was just what did it for River Falls.
It's very, very difficult in the late game. This is what I talked about at the very, very start when we were talking about draft, is that I think River Falls is going to thrive in the mid game, which they did. But now that we're in the late game, I think Oklahoma actually has the upper hand. They have Seaman, which scales a little bit better than the Ezreal. is considering that it's an on-hit character and a crit character. So this Jinx is going to be dishing out a little bit more damage and probably going to be a little bit more useful in these team fights. On top of that, they also have a Kale, which you can consider like a magical ADC carry. And as I'm talking, Goldilocks does have to pop the Ragnarok, go CC immune just to get away from the entire enemy team of River Falls, and that is your ultimate gone on the Olaf. He is going to be a short cooldown, but that's right before Baron.
Okay, that is, and River Falls is gonna, I guess, look for another team fight here to try and secure Baron. As Frigely might even be starting it. It looks like. Okay, they're gonna back off as the Mordekaiser is above them, but Enchanting trying to pick off Jinx here. If they could pick off Jinx, that could be such a team fight or a team sway here. As they're doing a lot of damage here to Goldilocks as the Berserk comes out. Not really going to do a whole lot despite that. And, well, I guess it did a whole lot with the Super Mega Death Rocket coming in, but the Redemption coming in from Eerie is what will keep them in this fight. But recalls coming out from both sides as Kayla is pushing up the bot side, opting to recall as River Falls is actually going to start this Baron.
Yeah, hostile takeover into a Super Mega Death Rocket was a great combo, but sadly did not pick up any kills for Oklahoma. Now it's going to be a strict 4v4 onto the Baron. Unless Kale TPs here, which she does, it's going to be a 4v5. Riverfall is going to have to pull off. Odin brings Ravenhood into the Shadow Realm, and he is just simply too tanky for
and Eerie's
anything
just chunked.
But Eerie, it's absolutely one-shot. Frigely trying to go in to save his boy. Ravenhood pops the ultimate as well, and Enchanting taking down Monster Summoner. That is one of the ADCs by technicality from Oklahoma that is off the board. Blast Cone brings Enchanting over to safety, but no! Goldilocks is there.
Arrow Hunter's got Goldilocks.
Ragnarok comes right through. Arrow Hunter goes through, pops the hourglass actually. Ultimate comes through from Enchanting, trying to pick off any more of these health bars, but no, there's simply too much sustain and too much tankiness from Oklahoma as they walk away with four kills of River Falls. I almost said 5.
In the middle, it would have been 5, but Arrow Hunter was there. He stole Mordekaiser's ultimate and ulted Goldilocks, taking the Olaf out of the fight. And had he had his way, Enchanting would have been dead. But no, he had to get stuck inside the Shadow Realm with Arrow Hunter, and Arrow Hunter popped that hourglass as he was just able to burn Olaf to death.
Yeah, I see a lot of pings in the chat right now as we were talking about objectives. The first objective of the past, or rather of the late game as we get into the 30-minute mark, will be the Baron for Oklahoma. They pick it up. They're going to have enhanced Baron minions and enhanced recalls now. But as I mentioned already, the pings in the chat, they're not really focusing on pushing lanes. They're focusing on making sure that this Drake that spawns in 2 minutes does not go towards River Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see Malphite and Amumu not build any real hyper tank items. I mean, we do see a little bit of tank on the side of the Malphite, but Leandri's is less tanky. It's more kind of like a pseudo health burn item. So this Mountain Soul, it's going to benefit River Falls immensely, but it's not going to benefit them to the point where they're going to be unkillable. In reality, the Mountain Soul is going to only have super heavy impact on this Malphite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of health. There's a lot of health on the side of River Falls, but they've got a lot of magic resist, especially on their tanks.
Oh my goodness, that they do. They were trying to rat in a little bush to see if anybody would take the bait, but no, it's just going to be split pushing with the Baron buff. All the lanes were pushed up, which works in River Falls' favor. They don't have to worry about any of the towers being taken too soon. Maybe the top one if Ravenhood somehow can't defend, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just a matter of dancing around these Odin abilities. Meanwhile, Frigely pops the flash over the wall. There's going to be the Amumu flash off the board. We're going to have a team fight right here in the middle of the river. Arrow Hunter pops the hourglass and the Redemption comes through. Flashes over the rock. A huge shield comes through from Eerie, protecting his boy. Arrow Hunter on that Silas. But I think that was going to be enough damage to technically win the fight from Oklahoma. Now Arrow Hunter has to pop a recall back with his flash burn. Frigely might be in trouble. Pops the ultimate. Hostile takeover comes through.
Is that another hostile takeover?
As well. Yep, Enchanting gets a little bit of a shield after going berserk. Has to flash over from the Goldilocks axe, covering his boy of Eerie. Eerie is going to fall from You Are Done and Monster Summoner hunting him down. Goldilocks focusing onto the turret. Enchanting, bicycle kicking over, changing target prioritization into Odin.
Huge save.
Trying to block over, saving Enchanting. Flashes himself into the 2 of the Nexus turrets before he dies. Goldilocks taking so many tower shots but not falling himself. This might be it, Gavin, as 2 Nexus turrets fall. And now it's just going to be the Nexus himself. CC immunity from Arrow Hunter as he steals the ultimate from Goldilocks, but it's not going to be enough.
The attack
GG
speed.
Well played in the chats as we go to game number 3.
The attack speed from this Jinx was absolutely insane, and the call Enchanting was able to pick out Kayle in that last fight, and just as she was about to die, here comes Ravenhood with a huge Malphite ultimate, able to knock up and let Enchanting get away and get back to the fountain, heal up. But unfortunately, they weren't able to come back with enough damage to finish him out and get him out of their fountain and out of their nexus, as Oklahoma just really crushed that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think River Falls had the upper hand in the mid game. That's where the shifts should have started happening. I think it was more of a small misplay where they try to take a lot of these late game team fights, thinking that they were still snowballing from the mid game, when in reality, the enemy team scales a little bit better. So even though they were at a gold deficit around the 25-minute mark, they were still doing equal amounts of damage. So a little bit of a lack of respect. I also think it was just a little bit of a misdraft, as there was just so much tank and so much damage on the side of Oklahoma, whereas the side of River Falls, they're kind of more looking for picking one or two players off on the side lanes instead of just strict team fights. So I think it was just a both sides of River Falls fumbling here and there and Oklahoma capitalizing in other areas. However, if you're River Falls, I wouldn't have a bad mental. They still dominated for the majority of that game. It was just the late game where things got out of hand.
Definitely. Yeah, so we'll have a game 3 pretty shortly. I wish I had a BRB screen, because I got to take a tinkle. So I guess I'll be back in just a minute.
Dog out.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah. If I can take an animal to tinkle, I'm sure Gavin can do it as well. You'll just be stuck with me and my smiling face. Oh, look at this. Look at this greasy mullet I got back here. You guys like this? Look at that. Look at that. Disgusting. Hopefully my mic's also not crackling, or else this is going to be horrible to sit through. And I recommend just muting the stream right now if that is the case. Good games, though, all around from River Falls and Oklahoma. It sounded like I was being critical of River Falls, but that wasn't what it was at all. I think it was just a matter of they steamrolled in the early and middle game, and then I think it was just a few bad team fights here and there that really took away Oklahoma's disadvantage, put them on an even playing field, and once they're on an even playing field with Jinx, Mordekaiser, Olaf, Kayle, they pretty much just run the game. But again, that's why I'm not on varsity. Maybe it was something else entirely. Who knows? All I simply do is watch the game and say things very fast and scatteredly into a terrible microphone. So, you know, we'll see how the rest of these games go. It's going to be very interesting to see how the drafts come through on game number 3. It's unfortunate that it's not Fearless. I know why it has to happen like that, but I'm just so used to watching Fearless League at this point that I don't know. It would be more interesting to see the wide champion pools that each team can bring to the table if it was Fearless, but I understand why CLOL. And I also understand why NACE wouldn't want to do that. So there's the college circuit, so they can separate the college circuit from the competitive circuit of professional League of Legends. Kind of just rambling at this point, listening to the terrible sound of my own voice as it's kind of become monotone now over time. I need to have more fluctuations into it.
So I can talk like this a little bit more. Gavin can keep the low notes for himself.
I think the Zanyas and Arrow Hunter was a really good pick, honestly. Letting the electricity proc as well as just getting into the middle of the team, and he knew that they were gonna just ability spam and burst him down. So then you just pop the Zanya's Hourglass, and they dump their entire kit onto somebody who's immortal, and then he comes out of the Hourglass and he can just, sweep. But unfortunately, the Kale's auto attacks can't go on cooldown, so the auto attacks just killed him regardless. That 1v1 in the bottom lane was incredible though from Arrow Hunter. That was so awesome to see. 1v1ing and trading with a Kayle who was arguably pretty fed at that point in the game. I don't know if they had Rabadons, but I think they had Gunsos and Nashor's Tooth at that point. And ability boots, or rather Swifties. Whereas Arrow Hunter, I think he only had maybe 1.5 completed items at that point. Maybe he had 2, but regardless, props all around, GG's all around. I'm really excited to see the next draft coming through. I think we've seen a lot of really good Malphite plays on this Ravenhood, but I kind of want to see him play something else. I want to see maybe an Ornn. Ornn has a similar playstyle to Malphite, especially in the team fighting stage. However, I think Ornn would actually be able to produce a little bit more CC and a little bit more frontline for the team, which seems to be what they need against comps such as this with Kayle. However, Malphite would still be a really good comfort pick. He's still very good at using utility and setting up team fights for River Falls. It's just in facing comps that want to take a team fight and want you to engage, like this comp that we just saw, Malphite might be a secondary option. Anyway, Gavin,
What up?
take it away. What'd you think of last game, and how was your tinkle?
Oh, it was wonderful. I just kind of expelled all knowledge I had of the previous game, so I'm ready to move on and go on to game 3.
That's disgusting.
I'm expelling negative energy. That's what it's there for. Yeah, I mean, I really like the Oklahoma pick on Renata Glask. I enjoy seeing Renata Glask every once in a while, and the Kayle mid was it turned out to be a really good pick against Arrow Hunter, and Arrow Hunter was unfortunately unable to kind of pop in enough to get these electrocution hits off and get enough poke damage out to have a comfortable spot where he can just execute the Kayle a couple of times. Obviously he did get away with it a couple of times, but that Kayle was just unfortunately rampant as soon as she hit level 11, and almost as soon as we saw her hit level 11, that's exactly what happened. She just rolled through that game.
Yeah, I think it was, like I said, it was the snowball effect. We can keep hounding on it, but it was just, it wasn't necessarily a huge steamroll from Oklahoma. I think that it was very even. It was just the transition from the mid game to the late game where they took it away.
Definitely. Yeah.
However, that just means that we get a little bit more League of Legends tonight, which I'm excited.
Absolutely.
So I can't be super mad at the outcome of game number 2, as game number 1 was an absolute stomp, and we are very happy to see that.
Yeah.
So I think coming through these bans is, I don't know if they're going to let Kayle through. I'm going to be honest. I don't think River Falls is going to let Kayle through again. I think that they might allow the Jinx for a third time because they feel like it's manageable up until the late game, and then they kind of have to just dogpile her, which is still possible.
Yeah.
But I think the Kayle is really what ran away the game, so I think they might select a first-round ban, or rather reserve a first-round ban for that.
Definitely. I think you were talking about Malphite when I got back. I think if they want Ravenhood on this Malphite again, I think they would want to ban the Mordekaiser, because this is it could be more, but I think Ravenhood is 0-2 against these against these Mordekaisers, and I think that low-key costs them the game because he doesn't have support up there when he's fighting against a Crystal Scepter Mordekaiser who's able to just keep him in his batting range, keep him in that passive range, and just lay into him.
And get free plates on top of that.
Right.
Which stinks because it was a very, very fed. I believe Mordekaiser was already level 18 by the time that game ended, but regardless, I think the Mordekaiser matchup is bad. I agree. A lot of picks into Malphite aren't great for Malphite during the laning phase, like just in general.
Right.
So I don't know if they'd reserve a ban just for the top lane. I think they just let River Falls, or rather Ravenhood, do what he needs to. They just let him suffer because they're not playing with bot priority. They're playing with, or top priority. They're playing with bot priority, right? With Enchanting and Eerie on those carries and the enchanters. Because Eerie is very, very comfortable in these enchanters, not so much the tanky champions, right? So you need to have some sort of tank. And with Frigely going a pseudo tank with Leandries in the jungle on these Amumu's, the only thing we can really get is Skarner from him with tank. And then even so, that's only one tank because Arrow Hunter's going to be playing a carry champion as well. So I get the idea of the Malphite. What I was talking about, and I don't know if you'll agree, is I think it would be nice to switch it up so it's less of a utility champion and more of just a frontlining champion. And what I mean by that is you can still pick a character that engages, but maybe something that is a little bit less damage heavy, like Arcane Comet Malphite, and something just strictly tankier, like Ornn. We have seen Ravenhood on Ornn, and his Ornn it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It is very, very playable and very, very manageable, and if he's going to be in a lane that's suffering anyway, why not just put him on the Ornn, which is easier to CS, and, well, I guess as easy to CS, and can bring a lot more volatility to the enemy team later in the game with a knockup and his ultimate, which is I think it's also a knockup. So
And then and the empowered items as well. He's set up for
Empowered
late
items.
game ramping for sure.
yeah, on top of that, he can become CC immune with his unstoppable breath. So I feel like Ornn might just bring a lot more to the table. I understand that he's more comfortable on the mobility of Malphite because Malphite is a faster character. So because of the way River Falls plays every situation hyper aggressively, they want him to hunt down. But I think for these Drake Pit fights and these Bushel fights where everything's kind of enclosed anyway, I feel like Ornn would be just a much better pick right now for Ravenhood.
Yeah, that is a good play, and I think I was gonna touch on that fact that Ornn is a lot less mobile than Ornn, or Ornn is a lot less mobile than Malphite. But with the late game, with the team fights that do happen, I mean, Malphite does have that big ranged ultimate, but Ornn does have that big range knockup. So even if Ravenhood is a little bit out of the fight, he's still able to kind of back it up, get in there, or at least give him some time to get in there. And we saw him on Shen a couple weeks ago, and I'm curious to see, they're playing a lot better together as a team now. It sounds like the communication is a lot more present. So I wonder if that pick could be revisited, because I know they do like putting him on the Shen because that gives them that taunt, that gives them that auto block, auto ability block, or auto damage block, and then most importantly that ultimate and that free teleport. So I think now it would be a lot better, or it would look a lot better for him to be on that Ornn than it did a couple weeks ago. So that is a pick that is on the table, but it doesn't seem that they really ban out top lane, and it does seem that they really like that Malphite. But I think if they do want to keep moving forward with the Malphite pick, at least if it were me, I would want that Mordekaiser out of the picture for sure.
Yeah, banning Mordekaiser is an option. I feel like somebody like Odin, though, we've seen him, like, he seems like somebody who would have a varied champion pool. So I feel like he might have some sort of flex option that would be akin to a Mordekaiser. Like, let's say, perhaps there's going to be an Alawi pick or a set pick or something like that, which we have seen before. Arrow Hunter actually displayed a lot of very, very well done Alawi plays. We even saw a Garen ban last game from River Falls, so we already know that Odin does play Garen, and Garen is a very dominant top laner, so I don't know if they'd opt for the Mordekaiser over the Garen, or if they're going to waste 2 bans on top lane. Or rather waste, but utilize 2 bans.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see which way River Falls takes this. The other thing with Ornn is that I've also noticed the way that River Falls plays is that Ravenhood doesn't really use the ultimate to engage the first move of a fight. He uses it to help his teammates out, which is very well done. Like he's very, very conservative, which is very well done. He does not use it willy-nilly. But my point is, the fight is about halfway over, and then he uses it to turn the fight around. Whereas I think the way that the team comp is supposed to work is he's supposed to go in first. So with an Ornn, because Arrow Hunter's usually the one in first, let's be honest.
Yep.
We have a lot of public executions. We have, like last game, the Sylas. We always saw the Sylas in the middle. That's why he got Zanya's Hourglass. He was always the engager. So what we could also do is have Arrow Hunter be that engager, and then have Ravenhood prep everything with Ornn. Have the Ornn horn popped, then have Arrow Hunter go in, and while Arrow Hunter is doing his thing, the Ornn Horner's discombobulating the enemy team at the same time as the knockup. It's not as instantaneous. It's not as, surprising as a Malphite ult can be. And a Malphite ult can scare the crap out of you. But I feel like if Arrow Hunter is going to be the first one to engage anyway, have Ravenhood on these setup champions instead.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. We give him a lot of attention. That's for sure.
We sound critical, but it's because we enjoy his gameplay so much. We want to see him thrive. They're all very, very talented players, but Ravenhood has so much potential, and he's breaking through every glass ceiling that we give him. I already said I'm very impressed with his laning. I'm very impressed with his macro and his side laning, especially his ability to cover the lanes. So I think it's just the champion pool, and I don't even think it's a Ravenhood problem. I think it's just figuring it out with the teammates and the coach, and figuring out a draft that can be beneficial to the team as well as his own lane.
Yeah, and I mean it could be the same it could be said the same thing for Fridgley as we see Fridgley on the Skarner support almost. Skarner Amumu, and then the Zac picks. And I honestly hope we do get a Zac pick. I think that would kind of
be cool.
that would kind of replace the need to have the initiation from Ravenhood on the Malphite, as he can just jump over the wall. He's got a bunch of CC on his ultimate, his Q, and then that E is an initiation. And then he's got a lot of self-sustaining ability. And I mean, we've seen a lot of great games from Fridgley on all of these champions that he's played. So I think River Falls is just really comfortable with, okay, you're going to ban the Amumu, we'll play Skarner. Oh, you're going to ban the Skarner, we'll play Mumi. Oh, maybe we'll just, comfort pick him on, put him on Zac and see what happens. So, I mean, with Fridgley in the jungle, there's a lot of tankiness, there's a lot of self-sustaining, and there's a lot of initiation. I think especially when we see him play Skarner, it is just... he's at the forefront of almost every single fight.
Hey,
Oh, it's the Speak of the Devil. We're going to see him there.
It's Horn Skarner. We were just talking about this. Let's go.
Wonderful.
That's crazy.
All right, and
I love it.
we're going to see Eerie opting for the Karma again, as I'm guessing the Lulu
That's an Eerie
was also
classic, though.
banned.
You can't be mad at the Eerie Karma. That's always a classic.
Yep.
We could love to see him on this.
It's just like a fireplace in the
Tristana
home.
Enchanting. Do you remember the last time we casted Tristana Enchanting?
Oh, that was just disgusting.
That was I think we're gonna have a repeat of game 1 where it's just constant like leaps in.
They're gonna the second that level 2, the second I guess most of the abilities are available. So I'm guessing the second they hit level 3, if not prior, they're gonna want to jump on this Sona, get the Sona out of the picture, and then Jinx is gonna be ripe for the taking. And it looks like Goldilocks is going to be on this Amumu, which is a little bit of a different play style, because game 1 was Xin Zhao. Game 1 was Xin Zhao, of a brawler fighter, and game 2 was Olaf, a brawler fighter, also single target. Now we're seeing the Amumu, who's going to be frontline tank.
AP engager.
AP
It depends on how they build. They might build AP as well.
Definitely.
I think in the bottom line, like you said, it's they're gonna try and blast the Sona away and focus on Jinx. It all depends on how fast they can one shot the Jinx.
Yep.
Because if the Jinx gets a reset, if the Jinx gets a kill before River Falls can one shot anybody, the Jinx passive is gonna kick in, and we've seen how deadly Seaman is with these movement abilities.
Definitely.
The other thing I want to touch on is that I thought for sure Fridgley was going to pull out the Viego this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is usually a big pocket pick for Fridgley.
It's a game 3 pick.
Yeah, it's a game 3 pick, and you said that he loves this engage. And when you said that, I was like, it's got to be Viego engage, right? And then I saw the Skarner, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have... Because what they usually like to do is with Skarner and Amumu, they pair Mbessa. So I thought for sure we were going to see another Mbessa, and I was correct. So we're going to have another Arrow Hunter Mbessa mid against an Azir. A very tricky matchup for Mbessa. Not conceptually, not as hard as Talia, but still very difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be another skirmishing game. I mean, really, easily to put it. When you're playing against River Falls, you're going to expect to have your mechanics pushed and your skill shots tested. And we're going to see, unfortunately for Ravenhood, we're going to see a Darius on the top lane. Darius is going to be, maybe needs to be focused a little bit, maybe by Mbessa and Skarner both coming up for a top lane gank. I think if Mbessa can get really ahead here, nothing will stop Arrow Hunter, which is what we see pretty typically. So I think Mbessa is able to position herself really well around Azir, but Azir being the strategist that he is kind of able to get in, kind of get out, do a lot of damage in the meantime, and let his team kind of focus that. So it's going to be interesting when Amumu comes up in ganks. I think Mbessa is unfortunately just going to have to back out when that happens. But just the solo Mbessa Azir matchup, I personally haven't seen it before, so I'm really excited. I'm really interested to see how this goes.
I think the thing that needs to be careful about in the mid lane is once that level 6 pops, Oklahoma will be stronger than River Falls. The second that we hit that
early game slow transition to the mid game around the level 6-7 mark, that's when the mid laners and junglers of River Falls need to be very, very passive, because you can use Arrow Hunter's ultimate and Fridgley's ultimate to play defensively. I know it sounds counterintuitive with public execution on Bessa, but you can use it to play defensively and bring them closer to you before you have a safe spot to ultimate. And obviously Fridgley's is just a pull. But the Azir ultimate and the Amumu ultimate are going to be deadly for this mid lane.
Yeah, we've got lethal tempo Azir as well, so he is going to be he's going to be attacking pretty quick.
So...
And Arrow Hunter might get picked out here as Fridgley is up on the mid lane. Fridgley, they might even opt for a little bit of a Fridgley poke here.
Yeah, Fridgley is in the mid lane. Here, trying to push him back. Arrow Hunter does smell that something is amiss, but he's going to push forward.
Oh, and the big stun.
Then a big stun, double flash. Oh, not a double flash. I thought for sure I saw a Azir flash. It was just one of his little clones. A single flash from Mbessa comes through, and I will be right back.
All right. It looks like we might have had a little bit of a tussle bot lane. It might have been a little bit of a misclick, but I thought I saw cleanse being used, or maybe they were just pinging it, letting everybody know on Oklahoma, saying, hey, Enchanting has cleanse on top of this insane karma that we've seen. Hey, Eerie on this karma, we can't shake him, but we can't ban him because he's going to pick the Lulu, and what do? I mean, we've seen multiple bans coming out in each game so far, targeting the bot lane specifically, and bot lane's just going to run away with it, whatever it's going to be. They're going to do their thing. They're going to do their best. And so far, it looks like they're going to opt for an early attack, which is what they do almost every single game. And Enchanting's got the bomb first. They're going to do a lot of damage. They're going to try and pick that Sona first, as I was saying earlier. And, oh, no, you hate to see it. Orin is just being pushed back by Darius here. Oh, as we're following our directed cam to whatever is happening around the rift here. But Ravenhood is going to do his best as usual and try and just focus off. He's got a Doran shield. He's ready to hunker down. He's got some biscuits coming in as well. Unfortunately, having to eat that really early on here. But he's just going to do his best, take his CS, try not to fight completely under turret, and try to apply some lane pressure. But he's ultimately going to have to play pretty safe here, and it looks like we're pretty much poked up on mid lane as well, as Azir has just an insane amount of range with those sand soldiers. Here he's doing a little bit of bush hiding. He's got his ultimate almost available. It's about 75% back. He's going to poke out the Sona, get a little bit of money. They're both going to trade a little bit of money on their support item, and pretty typical early lane so far. Non-typical from River Falls is we've not seen a first blood yet. We've made it to 3 minutes. What could we go for the furthest time in a River Falls League of Legends game without a first blood? We'll bait our breath. We'll just wait. We'll hang out. We'll see. I'm guessing James is going to have to take his dog out here, and Erie's pushing up so far, and Enchanting's got the rocket jump, that W, and they're focusing down this Sona and making sure that this Sona has to use all of their abilities, all of that heal that they have to just heal themselves and try and stay in this fight and protect their Jinx, but unfortunately having to protect themselves mostly. Welcome back, James. The Tristana is Enchanting.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Enchanting is focusing down to Sona as Sona is just being chunked, and this bandage catching out. Oh, a big flash here, and Tristan is again opting to fight onto this Sona as Fridgley's here. The Skarner through the wall. That's what we love to see, and they're actually almost just about gonna pick up that first blood. I was saying when you were gone, I was gonna. Oh, the big jump!
Jumping in takes 2 tower shots and feeds a kill over to Oklahoma. I don't know about that one.
I was talking literally 1 minute ago. How far could we go in a River Falls League of Legends game before first blood is drawn? We were at 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes with no kills, and now we're at 4 minutes with 2 kills. So, 4 minutes.
Good Lord.
4 minutes today. I think was the longest we went without a kill, because I believe there was earlier kills taken in both games.
I don't think Enchanting needed to. I think it was a little bit of.
They were she was just out of range, I think, of that Amumu.
Enchanting actually didn't. I don't know if Enchanting back to buy items or what, but still only rocking a Doran's blade. So I think she actually opted to stay in lane. But regardless,
it's not as bad for River Falls as we think. The kill did go onto the Sona, so
Oh.
a lot of the gold is not going towards that Jinx. Meanwhile, the Tristana did get a kill, and Fridgley bought a lot of
Eerie
tempo
with
in
a
his own jungle.
Eerie with a gank on the mid lane. Okay.
Yeah, rotating up to bail Arrow Hunter out of this terrible matchup. Goldilocks doesn't
Just
really know what to
roaming.
do, shows up all confused and goes over to the chicken camp.
That Eerie being at the right place at the right time, really. I don't know if I mean I'm guessing Arrow Hunter planned that, otherwise he wouldn't have gone in. But the shield was just not enough to protect him. He was taking so much damage from that Azir. All right, Enchanting's just able to get out of there.
Seaman tried to stop the pack with a Hextech pistol, but went for the wrong bush.
Sona does have the exhaust available if they want to go in again, so they're gonna probably target that Tristana as they're trying to get a lot of bot prio here. Is Umumu baited tosses over the wall and just goes wide, just a little bit too short as well. And Ravenhood pushing up this minion wave as he's gonna pop a little bit of a recall. It looks like it's gonna be his first back, get an item or two or a component, or maybe not. I guess he was just hammering.
This is exactly what I wanted to see. Ravenhood, you may say like, oh my gosh, he's down by so much CS. That sucks. And while that does suck, this is how this matchup goes. Darius is going to win lane. He's going to bully Ravenhood off of a lot of this CS. Oh, unfortunate, missed that cannon.
Just close.
I was just about to say, he wants to CS using his Q on that Ornn and just taking what he can get. And
there's that
staying
exhaust.
here- oh, wow. There's an exhaust coming through. You are done trying to do a lot of damage right now with the Seaman on to the enemy bot laner, but instead they're going to take a big chunk. Goldilocks now clearing out some ward pressure as we slow things back down into this game. And as I was saying from the top lane, Ravenhood on this Ornn, look, he's actually, you may not be able to see it, but he is actually ahead of Odin in experience.
You know,
He actually hit level 6 before Odin did because he is within minion range before Odin was.
I want to point
so
this
he is
out.
doing great as Ornn.
I want to point this out as well. When he was pushed up in that lane, Darius was almost under turret because of how far up Ravenhood was able to push these minions. And the amount of prio that they had in the top lane and the fact that Darius was winning, Amumu didn't really guess that they were taking an objective. River Falls was able to swoop in. Arrow Hunter went up and helped out Fridgley, and they took all three of those Void Grubs. Basically, I believe it was fully uncontested, and they were none the wiser. So the positioning from Ravenhood of pushing up that Darius, not letting him roam out, get a ward out into the river, and the fact that they were so far ahead that they didn't really need to aggress the top lane allowed jungle to just be open, and they were just able to take that Rift Herald. So that was an absolutely great communication done by River Falls, and they were just able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, they capitalized all over the map on that. Like you said, 3 grubs were taken for River Falls, even though there is a gold advantage right now. River Falls is now setting up for the Drakes. They're going to be ahead in both sides of the map. And Ornn is still, even though there's a proxy farm coming in from Darius, like, Ravenhood just has ice in his veins.
He
Look
does.
At this guy. He's just like, that's fine. You want a proxy farm? I'll just farm in the middle of the lane. Like, we're both going to get the same amount of experience. Me being behind means that I'm technically on the same level. I'm still going to do so much in the team fights right now. So I think River Falls does have the right idea. They need to be able to play around this Ornn, not in the way that you would typically work out. The Darius needs to be a big obstacle, right? That the enemy that you overcome. But once the Darius is taken down, the rest of the team should follow very, very quickly.
Ravenhood has fought this fight before.
Yeah, this is in reality their only frontliner. I mean, Amumu technically, but as Scattered Ashes, he's probably going to be going Leandri's, so he's going to be a little bit more AP. So if you can just take down the healing Darius, that's pretty much the big. And then obviously, then the Ornn has infinite value because everybody else is squishy and susceptible to CC.
Yep. Yeah, that brings a smile to my face. I'm glad to see that he's still able to provide everything that he can to his team. He's got a Bomby Cinder and he's got a Bramble Vest. He's got two little bitty components that are gonna go far. He can perfectly go for a wonderful starting item on both sides. Whether he opts for the Thornmail or he opts for the Sunfire, it's gonna provide him a lot against this Darius either way.
Absolutely. A little bit more of a skirmish in the bottom lane, Enchanting and Eerie just pushing up the enemy into the tower. The healing aura has come through. I wonder if they're going to try to engage off of this. You are done, then pops the speed boost, but no.
Not going
Enchanting
to
is going under that turret!
The ultimate pops out from Enchanting, does get the reset on the jump and pops out of the tier 1. Not enough turret shots, not enough damage, not enough heads flipping around to catch Enchanting in time.
How does she get away
pops
with
another
this?
Kill. It's incredible. The jump reset and damage calculation on the ultimate is just perfect. Seaman is worse for wear. Gets rooted by Eerie. This might be 2 kills for River Falls. Enchanting doing a little bit more tick damage, brought down to about a 4th HP. This Jinx has to back pretty soon.
How does Enchanting keep getting away with this? This is just ridiculous.
As we were complimenting Eerie, he just takes a tower shot. Hey, you got your plate. It's fine.
I want to go back and look at the amount of shielding that Eerie provided in all of these games.
In all of these games, it is incalculable. Oh my gosh.
Enchanting's going in.
Reset. Seaman burns the flash. Enchanting flashing right after.
Oh, Azir.
Shot, so it's not gonna be worth it.
Azir's coming down.
TPing. He is. Ravenhood might be in a little bit of trouble though as well. The tower shot's going to try and support the top laner as he flashes over. Ravenhood does fall to Odin. Odin gets traded back as the turret shot finishes off Ravenhood's kill. Now going back into the bottom lane, Fridgley trying to help out his team in the bottom.
Wow.
There's going to be no kills traded. What?
Looks like it. Really?
Flashback. There's going to be a really big fight and there's just nothing happening. Are you serious? What?
Wow. Okay. I want to go back and watch.
ridiculous.
I want to go back and watch that Ornn fight then. I want to go see what happened up on top lane.
It was a turret shot. He flashed past the turret. Odin was able to secure the kill, but not before the turret overheated, and I think it dealt like 2 or 3 turret shots.
Oh, a little bit of an overextension.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted the tower dive. Odin knew what he was doing. Ravenhood knew
With
what
the
he was doing, but
ghost
honestly,
too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really well played by both.
That was really good.
I think Ravenhood comes out on top though. Like you'll take
Definitely.
a trade because now that Darius loses CS and you losing CS doesn't matter. You're gonna be tanky anyway.
Yep.
Like, you're basically a support.
That
Really well played.
That knock up against the turret goes so far, and he's airborne for so long. And even though he was ghosted,
I think he flashed a little too not a little too far. I think he flashed further than he anticipated. Is what I have to say. However, it didn't matter because he also burned Darius flash and ghost. So like, it's just a double win. Because look, Darius isn't running TP. He's gonna lose tempo, and now, in reality, Ravenhood can just catch up now. He can just freeze this wave and catch up in the CS that he missed.
he's got free boots too. He's got a spectral cloak. He's got a component for every item you could ever wish for right now.
he's like Thanos collecting every single like component item.
We're gonna get a Giant's belt
Digimon.
next, and we're gonna get a Negatron cloak next. We're gonna fill it up.
Oh my goodness. Darius does have the stride breaker, so Ravenhood has to be extra careful now in these trades, but I still think that he's sitting pretty in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And bot lane is beautiful. I gotta say it. Eerie with these stuns and Eerie with just the amount of pressure that he's providing is just pushing off Sona and pushing out. Oh, he's gonna fight for these these wards.
Gosh. He's dealing damage, zoning both members of the bottom lane, and clearing a ward. What can Eerie not do? Like, he's just doing everything.
And there's the shield.
That Enchanting jumps in, wants to go in. Goldilocks is there for the backup, but the jump reset comes through, and Enchanting is out of there.
Here's your shield. Go, my child.
I send you with my blessing.
Oh, that perfectly timed shield. There it is. The scout pistol does a lot of damage, but it would have done a lot more if that shield wasn't there. Almost perfectly timed. As all things are when it comes to this Karma.
This Azir is about to be out of mana. He might have to pop it back here, and I think River Falls wants to set up. Ooh, Goldilocks, that's a big tempo win right there for River Falls. Now Goldilocks has to pop another
Oh,
back,
and the Bear's
I
house
think
comes
they wanna go
in.
But no, Eerie steps forward a little
Fridgley's
too far
here.
much.
To the rescue.
They're trying to block up for Eerie, but it's not going to be enough as he does get a double suppression from the ultimate. The skewer lands big, but it's not enough before his 2 teammates die. Now Fridgley might be next on the chopping block. He's able to get the shield from his E, but it's no. He does fall at the hands of Goldilocks with the tether.
The slow.
Walks away with half HP. And now I was just about to say that this is River Falls Drake through and through, as Monster Summoner might have to pop it back here, but instead they do miss the fight. Eerie steps forward just a little bit too much. Now Cloud Drake goes for the side of Oklahoma instead.
The slows that come in from Sona's passive, the slows that come in from the Jinx scout pistol was just so much. Even though Fridgley flashed, it just didn't do enough for him.
Yeah, You Are Done also has flash up now as well. Seaman still has that barrier. This bottom lane is going to be very, very difficult to deal with now. I think River Falls dug a hole, and I really hope that they don't try to dig themselves out by just taking all of these skirmishes yet again.
Oh.
We've seen that before, where River Falls feels like they need to do something when they're playing on an even playing field.
Looks like
Or rather, playing from behind.
Looks like Ravenhood's going to opt for a magic resist item here. And it looks like, I'm not sure if this was a misclick, but Sona bought the AD support item, which is going to give her more attack damage. Maybe I'm not in it with the Sona hip
The
haps.
Sona meta?
Yeah. So, we'll see.
Yeah, who knows?
Fridgley's looking to set up for something here on bot side, or maybe just clearing out some wards and clearing out his jungle camps. Get some vision out with that scuttle and getting some vision cleared. As it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a lane swap as Arrow Hunter's going to bot side and Enchanting and Eerie are swapping up to mid. And it's almost immediately met because Seaman and You Are Done are also here.
Yeah, matched by Oklahoma perfectly.
I wonder.
However, I think this still
Look at where
does
Fridgley
favor
is.
River Falls.
Look at where Fridgley is right now. He's taking these Raptors. I wonder if we can see, or if we're going to see him coming through this wall.
Goldilocks should see him because he's trying to steal the chickens. He does get smited away by Goldilocks. A smite steal right there. Fridgley wasn't expecting it, but the mid lane still might be in trouble. Darius is hovering. They need to be very, very careful. Ornn needs to call out that these enemies are missing and we don't have any vision in the top side jungle on red side.
That red buff
River Falls.
just came up. I think Darius was looking for it. Oh, he didn't get his red buff. Goldilocks.
It should.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there it is.
That
It
was
looped around the
that
corner.
was a little too close. I can't believe he got away with that.
Yeah, that Leandres comes in handy. This 2-0. Amumu actually has a bounty on his head. I wonder if anybody on River Falls is gonna aim to claim it in the next team fight.
This is also super what's the term I'm looking for? Not typical. We have Arrow Hunter with 0 kill participation here as Enchanting and Eerie almost finish off this Sona. They're really targeting down this Sona as they're trying to just get her out of the game so they can focus on this Jinx.
Sona had to pop ultimate, exhaust, and flash right there
Oof.
just to save her own life, and she does get away with it, but at the cost of both summoners and an ultimate. Fridgley now hovering. They do have a ward on him, so they should know he's coming. You Are Done is trying to back up and bait for his boy Goldilocks. The tether goes wide.
Ooh, a big clap.
Fridgley lands on a double tether. You Are Done might be done for this world as the bomb explodes from Enchanting. Now Enchanting has to hop away, trying to get away from Goldilocks. The root does not land onto Goldilocks. He takes out with the Leandres onto the Skarner of Fridgley. Eerie also does fall from Karma as Seaman, the Super Mega Death Rocket, goes wide, does not land on anybody. Enchanting brought down to no health, trying to defend his own turret. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Arrow Hunter and Monster Summoner are taking up a little bit of a trade themselves as Arrow Hunter is worse for wear.
Really good response here from Oklahoma on an almost overextension by Fridgley. He was just trying to get in and clap somebody, and he grabbed 2, and brought him right into River Falls team, and Amumu was pushing up for Enchanting there to be dead. They got Eerie, and I think just Eerie and Fridgley died. I could be wrong during that fight, but Ravenhood's looking for something here. He's doing a pretty good, decent chunk of damage here on this Darius.
Yeah, brings him back to about 3/4, but it doesn't matter because Darius, I think, was just looking up for some vision. I think they understand that Fridgley is going to be sitting in the bottom lane. Now we're going to have a little bit of a tech pause as Seaman has a bit of a DCing problem.
Oh, might be some weather issues. Uh-oh. All right, we got 2 CCs. I know we're having storms up here, but sounds like Oklahoma is one and the same. So we might be here for a while. So let's get comfortable and let's see what's going on.
Flooding with water.
That is unfortunate.
Oh no! I hope they're okay.
I hope so.
I didn't know Oklahoma was. I thought we were having.
Yeah.
We were casting remote.
I was gonna say.
We were having,
I looked out
we were the ones having weather problems.
I looked out the window and I just saw white. It was like a
we're
blanket
going
white
through a
fog
blizzard right now.
Yeah.
I guess at least our apartments aren't flooding. I hope Seaman's okay.
I'm on the 4th
Jeez.
floor. I'm all right. I'm up high.
It's all is well with the world. Gavin's on the 4th floor. We're fine. Oh jeez.
Oh, all right.
Good Lord, yeah. I hope they're gonna be able to reconnect. I mean, if the house is flooding, I don't know if this is just gonna be a postponed game, 17 minutes in, or if they're just gonna have to play as a 4v5. That really does suck. If that's the instance, this is not gonna be a feel-good win rate for River Falls in that instance, playing at a man deficit from the enemy team.
Definitely. And Oklahoma is 3 kills up. They're feeling really strong about this. It's even on the Void Grubs. It's even on the Drakes. It's just about even on objectives as well. It looks like they only turret that's been taken is actually tier 1 from Oklahoma. So River Falls is up on turret takes, but Oklahoma is up just almost about 3K gold here. But I believe that's mostly due to the CS that's being taken.
Yeah, and also on the Amumu right now, the Amumu is absolutely destroying right now. I do think it's also the CS differential right now, even on the as we're seeing the Jinx and Azir. Not to mention the top lane at all. I don't know how Ravenhood
He's
should
crawled
be in the
back.
double digits right now.
He's crawled
but
back.
He's been playing this lane incredibly. If this doesn't prove him on Ornn, I don't know what will against a Darius like this. Very, very well done from him. We will compliment that at least.
I believe he also had Bomby Cinder. He sold Bomby Cinder to finish that magic resist item.
He must have.
So he dropped that gold from that as well.
The other thing I wanted to touch on was that the first turret was taken in the bottom lane. That's why I think this lane swap into the mid lane actually helps River Falls out. Because I don't know why they would rotate the Azir instead, because the Azir could just lane clear. But when you have this much pressure into the mid lane with 2v2, you automatically entice the jungler to come through, aka Fridgley. And while they did lose the last team fight, the next time a wave could be pushed up into the tier 1 mid turret of Oklahoma, that Tristana is going to burn it down very fast. Tristana takes towers like nobody's business.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd love to see a lot of rotate. I'd love to see River Falls clear out this mid turret. Actually, can I move around? I don't think we can see, or I don't think plates are up at 17 minutes. But I would love to see a tier 1 turret taken.
Plates have dropped, but the kicker here is, in terms of turret health differentials, is the mid tier 1 for River Falls is still lower. So it could go either way. I don't know exactly if they're going to continue with this lane swap or if they're going to try and switch it back. It seems like Arrow Hunter called for the lane swap as he was struggling against Monster Summoner, just not able to... I mean, it was more of a stalemate, not really struggling. But I think a character like, or a player like Arrow Hunter wants to thrive in the matchup instead of just stalemate. So that might have been what happened. Sona is moving.
All right, and
it's
Fridgley,
I think Monster Summoner also disconnected.
Yeah, I believe it was the. It looked like it was the Jinx and the Azir, so both mid and bot laner.
Seaman and Monster.
Yeah, and it looks like Fridgley just picked up Heartsteel, so we're gonna see him probably at the front of the next every single fight that happens, trying to stack up that Heartsteel, get some more health.
Unfortunately, it's such a late Heartsteel pickup that he's gonna have to do a lot of work to actually make that a useful utility, as Amumu is already working towards his third item, if you're not counting boots.
Yeah,
and he's pretty much almost there. He's got 2 tomes and a cinder.
Heartsteel is such an expensive item.
That is true. But I mean, it doesn't help when you're 0-2 as well with 98 CS.
Yeah, he's
the only non-support with double-digit CS. I think it was just a lot of the ganking that did it.
Yeah, for sure.
But there isn't much else that Fridgley can do. He has to bail out.
I think really that's typically where we see Skarner, how we see Skarner played by Fridgley here, because we've noticed there's a lot last season for sure. But the second he gets Heartsteel, he almost drops CSing and just starts to gank and be in lanes, be in fights, and that's where you kind of get this push and pull of how aggressive do we want our jungler to be. Because he does need these Heartsteel sacks, he does need to initiate these fights so that we can get ahead with the number of fights. But he also needs to be really prevalent in his jungle and taking his buffs and getting Scuttle Crab for sight and being present for objectives. But like how that is the dilemma of being a jungler, obviously. But River Falls definitely has him kind of everywhere all at once, and it's hard to kind of have him keep up.
Yeah. And we're looking at Seaman reconnecting. We might be able to get back into the game here pretty soon, hopefully. And I also hope that everything is all right, weather-related down there. I didn't know that Oklahoma was also hitting some bad storms, but stay safe and stay frosty. Is what we all say, and we'll all pray and hope that they are able to, first of all, finish the league game and do their best performative wise, but as well as just staying safe afterwards and protecting what they need. But While I ramble on, we're gonna be getting right back into the game, and it is slowing down right
Oh,
now. And freezing up.
I think that was a client issue now. Come on, man.
No. Oh, wretch.
Surely we can get back
Nope.
into here. I just went back a couple of seconds. We'll see if we can get to the same spot or not. Oh, we'll see Eerie clear these wards. He's so good at that. Look at him go.
I think we're gonna have to restart the client.
No. That's...
Oh wait. Wait. Nobody breathe.
I didn't
Nobody
see.
move.
I didn't see where we got caught out last time. All right. Well, we'll
we're
keep
good.
going.
We're good.
Look at him go. All right. The bot laners are back. The mid laner is back.
Look at him go.
We're in the jungle taking our raptor. That was a pretty quick raptor take. I'm impressed.
It's 10 o'clock at night, and I could easily eat up at least 8 more games of League of Legends. We have not lost any steam or momentum here. I am pumped for this next team fight. They might be setting up for... Do we have a Drake timer anywhere, or am I just stupid?
I don't think we have
know.
one, but the only thing stopping
can't-
me is a noise complaint. So let's go.
I think that's a little hourglass below the red ward on Drake Pit, so I believe Drake should be spawning relatively soon. I think River Falls wants to set up for it. That's their plan right now.
I think there's a... Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's at least... It's got to be at least 30 seconds. So it's 30 seconds to a minute before that thing gets back. But that control ward is... Gosh darn it. Whoever put that control ward down on River Falls. I swear, blocking our timers. We can't see anything. I believe it's under 30 seconds now, so River Falls might be looking for a
it's
fight
spawned.
here.
Yeah, I mean, they want to fight. This should be when River Falls is relatively strong in the game before, you know, Nasher's Tooth Azir.
Oh, Eerie was
before he hits
jumped.
the second item, Eerie does get jumped on. It has to force the flash. Flash Goldilocks stun goes through. It lands onto Enchanting as well. That's 2 kills for the blue side of Oklahoma. Fridgley might be next to follow. He's trying to pull all the stops, but no, the Sona ult claims the kill and gives it over to Monster Summoner on the Azir. 3 members of River Falls fall, including the jungler, and this might be free Drake for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Arrow Hunter had to back up and give Azir that lane, give Azir that prio to fight Drake, as he's trying to keep this mid lane or mid turret still alive, which that Rift Herald is making quick work, and especially the DAC that this Jinx has.
Man is pulling a lot of stops on this Jinx. On an ADC like this. In the end, that was what all this battle and glory was for, is for that second Drake, the Chemtech, and it goes in the way of Oklahoma.
Yeah, 3-1 and 6 on this Jinx, no less, and that looks like it's going to be an Infinity Edge as a second item. We're pretty close here, so we'll have to see. But Raven Hood holding his own up here on top lane for the most part. He's living. He's got 2 full items actually on this Darius.
He does.
I don't know if he
Like
just
I
got
said,
that.
He's pacing very well. The top lane, unfortunately, it seems to be the only lane that's been thriving on the side of River Falls, which is ironic considering that's the weak side.
Yeah, the Arrow Hunter is unfortunately he still has 0 kill participation at 20 minutes here because he is just immobilized by the amount of damage and the amount of zoning that this Azir is forcing. And looks like Fridgley going right through that wall, and that Azir turret is up. Azir ultimate comes out, and there is nothing
Emperor's
you can
Divide
do.
lands on 2 members of River Falls. They're not going to be able to successfully continue that gank, and the Azir lives for another day, hiding under his own turret. River Falls seems very lost. They don't really know where they want to play for. I think Fridgley just says he needs to farm up and get a few more levels. Ward Otacon, make sure they don't play for it, and I think we just coast for a little bit now.
Definitely, yeah. We'll regroup, and again, there's a lot of pitches that are thrown River Falls' way, and they just have to wait for their one. They can let them go by, but you can only let so many go by before your turn is up, and you got to get out of there. But they're looking for it. They just have to wait. Try not to take anything that's too far out of their reach. And I mean, they're still pretty well grouped up for the most part. I guess not really, but having your 2 bot laners in
might
one.
be in trouble right now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, having the
Nobody's covering right now, and like I said, Tristana takes these a lot faster than you would think.
and especially with those 3 Void Grubs, that's going to be really nice. So I guess we'll probably see a cheeky little wave or a lane swap here with Enchanting and Eerie going top lane, and Eerie is just going to be left behind. That Sona ult stops him dead in his tracks. The shield provider and speed booster is no more. He's got Mikhail's blessing. I wonder if he can use it on that. Yeah,
that bandage toss
ulti.
is no joke.
For sure. Yeah, bandage toss into the Sona ult. I wonder if it was even worth it to try using that Mikhail's Blessing. Just
I have no idea. Ravenhood actually winning the engagement, spacing Odin. He's styling on
you
this
love to
Darius.
see it.
Oh my goodness.
The big baby Orin is all
Meanwhile,
grown up.
in the bottom lane, it's all Oklahoma as they are ripping this Otacon to shreds, and this should be the GA Otacon. Now they get a free reset. It doesn't matter if they all die. They will simply just respawn back into base, giving over a little bit of a I think it's only 200 gold now. So River Falls needs to play very, very carefully and maybe look for some one-off picks instead of team fights.
It looks like, did River Falls pick up feats of war here? Because I believe Orin's got those boosted.
Jump reset, and Enchanting might be in trouble here. Eerie popping a shield onto his own support, but now Eerie's going to be the one in trouble. Gets a little bit of a cleanse right now, but Goldilocks throws
He's always the first to fall.
Bandage toss. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Bridgley with a
3-man!
triple suppression covering his boys. Ravenhood is not going to cover up for Bridgley as he knows that the fight could be lost. Bandage toss goes through the wall, landing onto Ravenhood, but now he's going to be in turret range.
Oh.
Ravenhood is simply too tanky for this. Enchanting does not get the jump reset, and it gets a little bit chunked for her troubles as Oklahoma walks away still with 4 Otacons on the board.
I think
5, actually.
I think Ravenhood is looking pretty solid right now. We're getting into the later phases. We're getting to the point of the game where they're going to try and fight him, and he's looking for a strategic spot where he can just disrupt everything and let his team really lay in.
I wonder if Arrow Hunter's going to try and take the fight here. No.
That
Monster
turret
Summoner
comes
does
up.
have that passive that pops in that turret. However, the cavalry is on the way. Eerie and Enchanting are flanking over in a Monster Summoner. We know Enchanting. She is going to hop over this wall any second now. Emperor's Divide goes through but does not hit anybody. Eerie is not killed yet. Yes! Actually falls to the Gnasher's Tooth. So much damage from this Azir, and it's not really worth it because the Otacons were still available. That Azir is just going to simply go back into the base, and River Falls are worse for wear with it, with Eerie sitting in limbo for the next 20 seconds.
Ravenhood just getting chunked here, trying to hold off his turrets against three members of Oklahoma.
I think the most River Falls can do here is just play to scale the best they can, even though that the enemy team might scale a little bit better. Look for some picks onto the side lane like they did with that Azir. I think it was really well played. It's just a shame that it was an Azir with a turret and Otacon.
Definitely.
And then the only other win con I can see for River Falls, which I believe in.
Oh my God, the bandage toss!
Mid-air, Enchanting gets absolutely one shot by the Azir combo on top of the Goldilocks bandage toss. Odin tries to ulti.
Oh
Raven
my
be simply
God!
Too tanky. The Otacon recalls him back into base, but not before he is licking his wounds and licking his pride. As Ravenhood on this Ornn is just checking this guy's ego.
He gets that redemption, and he almost. The Darius was a sliver outside of that AoE where he would have been knocked up right under turret, but that turret still laid into him and still just finished him off and sent him back down to the fountain.
That is going to be soul point for Oklahoma. River Falls needs to buckle down and ensure.
We have Odin as a DC now.
This might be another win condition, I guess, for River Falls. Is it if enough people DC?
Oh man. All right. Well, we're back into a pause. Hopefully everybody's doing all right. But we can take a moment. Oh no. Well, hopefully that's not a real lightning strike, but apparently a lightning strike has hit somewhere.
I'm assuming that he just means the power went
hopefully,
out, right?
hopefully so. But it looks like
oh no.
We've got pretty even items here on the ADCs. Jinx has Infinity Edge and whatever this one is. I can't remember it. Yuntal Wild Arrows, and so does
Wild Arrows,
Enchanting. Looks like actually Seaman is going to try and counter this Ornn with Lord Doms. So.
Oh,
that would be
LDR might be a good pickup.
That would be a play here. It looks like, I think, actually, funny enough, Ravenhood is trying to counter that pick as well, or counter the Jinx as well, going into Frozen Heart, maybe? I believe that's what this Warden's Mail goes into. It either goes into Warden's Heart or Frozen Heart and Randuin's Omen, I think, is the other item, if there's another item. But it'll be a good thing.
As we are getting reminded in the chat, Oklahoma does only have 10. They only have 10 minutes total, and they already used 9 of that minutes for the earlier pause. So we are down to 1 minute for them to reconnect.
Oh no!
I don't know what happens. I don't know if they forfeit, which would really suck. I mean, it would still be a win for River Falls, but it wouldn't really be earned, which really stinks. But I hope all is well regardless of the game state. We're all good sports here. I just hope that, everybody is being safe Everyone is going to be able to, make it out of this weather without. Obviously, nobody is hoping for the worst, but I'm saying like injury or damage to property or anything like that. So I'm sure everything is on the up and up. It's just a matter of the ticking time bomb that is all of our time at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Enchanting can 1v1 this Jinx very, very well.
And we got a client pause.
Oh no! I was about to say with similar items, I think that if he builds LDR, Enchanting should be able to 1v1 C-Man pretty well into the late game, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure.
It does stink. Odin is going to have to ride out the remainder of the game in Fountain if he is not able to reconnect.
Oh, we're paused. All right.
If he can reconnect, then he can play from where he is currently. I believe those are the rules, so no real big problem. Oh, stop! Oh. Okay, we're good.
All right.
You just had to scare the kid.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm gonna stop.
So,
all right.
So it might be. I mean, they do have a big lead. Oklahoma could win this 4v5. They have a very, very big lead.
10K gold lead.
Yeah, so I think this is probably the best spot you could have had somebody DC in.
Ooh.
River Falls is not giving them an inch though. As Frigidly is going in, he's gonna try and look for a skewer, but the slow from the Hextech pistol slows him down enough to stop the stampede from the Scorpion.
Yeah, whew. It's a hard play to say because River Falls still has an incredibly formidable foe for the remaining 4 left alive. The main objective that's left up at the moment is Baron. Baron just spawned, I believe, a minute ago. Given the Baron pit changes, so they're gonna try and ward up and check it out, see what they got going on, and we're just kind of in a stalemate. People are just gonna hang out, wait for stuff to happen, look for their opportunity to strike, whenever that may be. And it looks like we're
able to reconnect.
We
so
do.
Nice.
Sona ult is available and is in range of Enchanting here, and Frigidly might get.
Frigidly goes wide on the E and has to rely on
Almost.
Eerie shields to bail him out.
It's hard to really go in there sometimes too, because it's like he's just too far away from really being able to latch on. It looks like the ultimate is available, so we can maybe grab somebody here, but it looks like Sona passive is up, which means that the next auto that they strike is empowered based on whichever ability they just cast. So if Sona has full passive and the Q was just cast, which is the damaging ability, I believe that makes it so whoever was hit by that auto attack, they do less damage, something like that. The W is her heal, and if the auto comes out from that, the enemy is inflicted grievous wounds, and then if the E was cast, the speed ability, the speed up ability, it actually slows down the enemy that was hit. It's a kind of cool passive to read out.
That's cool,
A lot of lines. She's been around for a while.
Sona is the first character I ever played in this video game, and I don't remember anything about her.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, rather, I guess I don't remember anything about the ultimate and the passive that isn't visible screen clutter.
I'll
but
tell you what, Sona mid isn't what it used to be.
I can imagine.
Oh, maybe a cheeky
Now that
recall
Odin's
here.
back, he wants to try and
He barely got out with that. Oh, it's Randu and Zoman. Success! I know my league items.
It's Randuin's. Yeah,
Yippee!
wow. Very interesting.
So that's gonna decrease. Does that still decrease attack speed just on an active? I believe that decreases the attack speed. I suppose we can look at it too.
Randuin's it forever. I don't know.
Oh, it slows nearby enemies for 70%. 70%.
Oh, Frigidly had to burn the flash here. That is very bad, close to this Baron play that they might want to go for.
You might have to
Too scared
move
of
up
Odin.
Darius with the ghost here. Oh, you know who else has a ghost? You know who else has speed? They're just moving around here, and it looks like that's just enough area for Oklahoma to have open and have free for them to take Baron. River Falls.
They shred this Baron. River Falls might be
really
worse
do.
I don't think they know what's happening right now, and they cannot respond in time.
They might
This is
not.
going to be a free Baron.
A bunch of recalls coming in. They're gearing up to rush it down, whichever lane they choose. And River Falls has to stay in tight and likely stay together to try and keep everybody off and out of their fountain.
Yeah, River Falls is doing their best to play the side lane macro game, but it's very, very difficult when you have all these Baron minions
Uh-oh, there goes
Piled up,
Darius.
unfortunately, Odin does have to leave again, but he has been able to reconnect before. We'll have to see if he can do it yet again.
Drake's going to be up in about 20, maybe 35 seconds here. As Ravenhood's clearing out some wards, and he's going to do a cheeky recall here. He's going to try and get out of harm's way as Sona might be hunting him down. Looks like he'll be able to get away. As
They are setting up for Drake. I'm surprised that Ravenhood didn't want to stick around to see if River Falls was going to contest it. I don't know if they're going to want to give Soul.
This could
I assume
be.
they're going to want to prevent it.
This could be a little bit of time wasted and priority shift from Oklahoma not into lanes, because they do have this Baron buff. I know they want to use this Baron buff to the best of their abilities, but this Dragon is up now, and Frigely is looking for a pick here as his ADC and Arrow Hunter is right next to him. Frigely's going to pick up this Amumu almost. Looks like Amumu went behind him actually during that time. Frigely actually falls.
Public execution lands onto Seaman. Now we find the Ornhorn finally comes through, lands onto Goldilocks. Arrow Hunter getting up a lot of the shields, but it's going to be too much damage from the Emperor's Divide of this Azir. Enchanting with so much shields from Eerie is going to protect him, but not protect Eerie and counterparts. Goldilocks and Seaman, and you are done. Hunt down the last remaining player of River Falls in that fight, the Ornn. And now, lone Enchanting at 1 HP is going to be the only thing between Oklahoma and Dragon Soul.
Right at the end there, as Enchanting was running away, it was like the dying wish from Eerie to run away, because like a quarter of Enchanting's health bar was shield, and the amount of movement speed that was provided to Enchanting to get out was definitely credit where credit's due. But Enchanting and Frigely are both up, trying to prevent Oklahoma from taking too many turrets here. But Frigely is unfortunately going to go right through the wall and get into these traps, and it's Sona ults the Tristana as she jumps in, unfortunately putting a very swift end to Enchanting's life, as they were just caught out. But okay,
Super Mega Death Rocket.
Unfortunately, the splash attack finishes off Frigely.
And it is unfortunate to see River Falls go with a small wisp of air, as all of these small... Oh, actually, Arrow Hunter trying to get onto Seaman right now. The ultimate comes through from Amumu, is able to protect his carry. Ravenhood is here trying to take out this Jinx, stopping him down, but the Sona with the heals and the shields is just going to be too much for Ravenhood to handle. Goldilocks is going to be able to finish off that kill. Maybe no. He's able to hit the fountain just in time, but not before these two Nexus turrets are about to fall. This may be game, set, match for Oklahoma. With so many DCing issues, the Flood couldn't stop him. Emperor's Divide is going to try and pick off Ravenhood as one last kill. Shunt down from the Amumu goes in the way of Enchanting, but it might not be enough as the minions become winions, as Oklahoma takes the series 2-1. Very well played from River Falls. Very well played from Oklahoma. Very close League of Legends.
Very good responses from both teams in every single game, in every single fight. And I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better series, really. This was an awesome couple of games.
This is incredible.
Just about every week, we keep getting surprised at what's in store. I love it.
No, what I was saying is it's really unfortunate because like the rest of River Falls, they played the best they could, but eventually the game just got away from them. It snowballed into every single lane, right? They lane swapped. They tried to go for all these counter ganks. It just simply didn't work. And this was ironically the game that we saw Ravenhood do the most work, 1v1ing and arguably winning against a Darius in the top lane as Ornn. Honestly, like, I know that River Falls lost this game, but that is a huge mental boom, like not mental boom, whatever the opposite of a mental boom is, a mental uplift for your top laner. Ravenhood has got to be feeling so good coming out of that, knowing like, I'm not stuck on Malphite anymore. I'm useful as Ornn now.
He provided himself an extra little boost of his item to give him some extra magic resist or whatever it is that empowered item gets. Yeah, this was a great. I wanted to see how much shield Eerie got. We'll at least see it for this game. I'm gonna go look at the graphs. Let's see what we got. There's our damage graphs. We can see this Jinx absolutely blasting with 40k damage into River Falls, into the heart of River Falls. All right, where do we have our shield? I want to look at this quick. Miscellaneous.
Oh, ally shielding right there.
It is.
6,000.
7,000. Not too bad.
So almost. I mean, beat out the Sona.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a lot of shields.
Yeah.
Well, again, Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma is going to take the series 2-1. River Falls, a valiant effort. All the games were relatively close, I would argue. And
Absolutely.
Incredible League of Legends. Not a dull moment here on the UWRF esports stream. I am again joined by Gavin, the G-Spree. Thank you so much for joining me, Gavin. Anything you would like to say to the audience before we head out?
It's always a pleasure, James. We'll see you guys next week. I've got the week's forecast of River Falls UWRF esports. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time, we've got Valorant against Texas A&M. Also on, what is this, Thursday, we've got Overwatch and Rainbow Six playing at 6 and 7 respectively. And then we'll see you guys next week with a full week, almost full week as usual. Monday, we've got Rocket League at 6 p.m. We'll be right here again next week at 6 p.m., a little bit earlier with League of Legends versus University of Missouri. 6 o'clock start for Valorant also on the following day, Wednesday. And then Thursday is Rainbow Six again at 7 p.m. So we appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope the technical difficulties weren't too much as we bring to you as much casting as we can from our homes, and we hope everybody stays safe during whatever is happening outside. Try not to look, but I don't know about you. I got my laptop, my work laptop here, so I'll be comfortable in the morning if I don't have to go anywhere. So we'll see you guys next week.